Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
You are listening to Scream with Ryan C. Showers, the podcast for Scream fans just like you. Join Ryan every week as he takes a deep dive into the horror film series that defined the 90s and redefined the genre. Scream with Ryan C. Showers is your source for scene and quote analysis, character dissections, and the latest news about upcoming installments of the Scary Movie franchise.
I hear you like horror movies, Kirby, but do you like them as much as him?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Scream with Ryan C. Showers podcast, where the film critic meets the Scream fan twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday. I'm your host, Ryan C. Showers. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. Before I go any further, I need to thank the producers and administrators of Scream with Ryan C. Showers. First, I need to thank TJ Jones, who does all of the graphic design work from the podcast. Also, I need to thank Ashley Summers, Mark Vieira, Sarah Campbell, and Sam Levy for helping me keep the podcast and Patreon community afloat. Thank you to everybody who subscribes to the Patreon at any and every tier. I'm an independent entity, so any bit of support that comes into the Patreon goes back into the podcast. Joining the Patreon gets you ad-free and early access to every episode, as well as the opportunity to join the community of the show. We have group chats across social media. In particular, Instagram is really the hub of the podcast community. More importantly, joining the Patreon is the vessel in which you would use to come onto the podcast, either in a one-on-one situation with me or a small panel. In addition, there's a guaranteed invite every month to a big group Zoom recording about a Scream topic. An exciting feature of the podcast is the audio commentary episodes. Every Scream fan knows what it was like listening to Wes Craven do the audio commentaries for the original trilogy and Scream 4, with Marianne Maddalena and Kevin Williamson and Patrick Lussier. And what I'm trying to do for my Patreon subscribers is I am going to be performing an audio commentary of a Scream or a Scream-related movie, one per month, every month. And my goal is to try to approach these as I'm doing deep analytical analysis about the characters, about the themes, about just general reaction. So it's something that I'm really proud of and I hope continues to be a cherished part of the podcast. So the commentary is available as a normal podcast episode for anybody to listen to like they would any other podcast, but it will also be available as a video watch along. So everybody, please go over to Patreon, subscribe to Scream with RCS. I would be eternally grateful. So I need to go through and thank everybody over at Patreon who is subscribed as a stab investor or a daddy/mama Ghostface. So the daddy/mama Ghostface of the Patreon are Carrie Tenney, Brett Janovich, Corey Wilson, and Stevie Shears. The stab investors include Allie, Amar Karim, Tamika Jones, David D., Gustavo Mora, Jess Mariano, Joey Nobarini, aka The Vault, Josh Calamari, Josh Carr, Scream Queens podcast, both Josh and Justine, The Horror Project podcast, Kevin Abner, Mark Vieira, PWO5, aka Philip Douglas, Quentin Harrison, and Sam Levy. This is kind of a surprise episode. So because of the Scream 7 trailer, it's kind of thrown off my planned schedule here. So bear with me. But we held a group Zoom for the Patreon of Scream with Ryan C. Showers this past Tuesday after we released an episode with me, my friends Amar, Jess, and Anthony about, the official trailer of Scream 7. And the excitement and anticipation is so palpable in the air. Everyone is truly just kind of, enthralled in this moment. And the group Zoom for Scream 7 and the trailer, it was so inspiring to me. So I have decided that we are going to release the group Zoom right now while everyone is still buzzing around about the trailer, as opposed to in a couple of weeks, which was kind of the plan after things got shifted around. So please enjoy this Thursday's episode of the group Zoom from this past week. So this is really fresh, guys. It's really fun. That being said, what you're about to hear is mostly unedited from the group Zoom. So please bear with me. This isn't like a typical podcast episode. There were so many people who came, and I truly want to honor everyone who participates in the Patreon, in the podcast. We're all excited about Scream 7. We're all here for Scream 7, and I want to celebrate that as soon as possible. So please enjoy this episode. Again, it's going to be largely unedited just because of the time constraints, but please enjoy. Then on Saturday, I'm going to be coming to you again for the Patreon exclusive episode, which is going to be on Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 6, which is my personal favorite season of Buffy, my favorite season of television of all time. The first 90 minutes are going to be available to the public, and then there will be an audio commentary of Once More with Feeling, which is the musical episode of Buffy. It's largely regarded as one of the greatest, if not the number one best episode of television ever. So I will be doing an audio commentary for that. So everyone, please tune in for Buffy. And if you enjoy this episode and you want to participate in events like what you're about to hear with the Scream 7 trailer, head on over to Patreon and subscribe. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to turn it over now to the group. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scream with Ryan C. Showers. I'm your host, Ryan C. Showers, and today isn't just Scream with Ryan C. Showers. It is Scream 7 with the Patreon of Scream with Ryan C. Showers. We are talking about the trailer for Scream 7 that was released recently. Oh my God, this is the full-length trailer released the day before Halloween, and it oh my God, it's just like the greatest trailer ever. So, I released an episode already, just a preview review of the trailer, but I want to hear what everybody has to say. You know, Scream, and if you've stuck through the past 2 years and you're still committed to Scream and still want to see it, you know, proliferate and thrive, you know, you're a part of this community. I want to hear what you have to say about Scream 7. We've waited a long time for this. We put up with a lot of bullshit to get to this moment. And I'm just so excited to see Sydney Prescott again. I'm so excited to see Neve Campbell acting on my screen again. I'm so excited to see her daughter for the first time. I'm so excited to see Kevin Williamson's set pieces. And more than anything, I'm excited to hear what everybody else has to say, because this is a really fun moment and we're never going to have this time again, because, you know, if there's a Scream 8 and a Scream 9, we'll never have the moment of like the return of Neve Campbell and Kevin Williamson's first trailer ever again. So exciting. History, you know, this is history. So, all right. Well, first I'm going to start out with my producer, Scroll and Spud. Hey, Ash.
Hi, everybody. I'm excited to tell you all my thoughts.
Well, please hit me with it.
Brian, if you were to guess one word that I would use to describe the trailer, what would it be?
I don't
It's my
know.
favorite word to use.
Well, I mean, so every time Ashley and I talk about like a Taylor Swift album or a Taylor Swift song, Ashley will say, I love this album. I love this song. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I would say I really loved it. I thought it was really
Relatable.
fun.
Yes.
My number one word is like, oh, this is fun. I didn't realize how often I say fun until like listening to myself talk a lot.
And Ashley, you also say like, and this is the song that like everybody could relate to. Like this is something that everybody could
Yeah.
relate to.
I feel like my brain relates everything to everything. So to me, I'm just like, I relate to that. And then it'll be something that I have never even come close to experiencing. But I really loved the trailer. I thought, I'm like a once and done type of person. I'm not going to sit there and analyze it.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it once. It came up while I was watching a movie on Prime earlier, and I literally closed my eyes because it wouldn't let me skip the commercial. And then I realized I could just like turn it off if I wanted to, but I muted it because I want to know what I'm going into, but I also don't. So I want to forget some stuff. I don't want to have it like all embedded in my brain. Like when I saw I think there was like one thing from the trailer that I remembered like going into Scream 5, because like I watched it once and then was like, no, I'm like, I literally try to forget. I'm like, put all the other stuff in there. But I'm excited. I liked the mother-daughter dynamics that was there. Seeing Sydney again was so fun. I loved hearing her be kind of sassy over the phone, and I'm just so excited to see her in like this new role of like motherhood. And I think that's something that makes sense for Sydney. Like I think when I heard that she's a mom, I think that makes sense for her role. I think she's always been really empathic and kind and encouraging, which I think is like a cool thing to have if you were a mom. But pretty much I was just excited to see some of the faces that we know and some of the faces that we don't, and trying to come up with like, how is this going to be working? How is everybody going to fit together? And like, there are some people that we didn't see that we know is going to be in this. So I'm intrigued to see like where they come from. I guess I just want to say I'm so excited. Like I went into this being like, I don't know how it's going to be. I watched it the one time and I went and ran to my fiance and I was like, the trailer came out, and he's like, I'm on a call. And I was like, oh my God, awkward. I hope that he was muted. And he was, thankfully, or his boss would have heard me yelling. But I was so excited, and he watched the trailer by himself because I told him that I couldn't watch it because I am terrified of spoilers. I don't want to know anything, and I'm just excited. I don't even know how to put into words. Like since I saw it, I've been in a good mood. So
Well, okay, I have to ask because you just confessed that you are the queen of like making sure everyone doesn't spoil things. So, with that being said, what are your thoughts on the trailer? Did you think that it was spoilery? Did you feel annoyed by anything that we saw? Like that they showed too much? Did they show too little? Was it ambiguous enough for the test of Ashley?
for me, it was fine. I think that it's hard to say that something is too much if you haven't seen if you haven't actually seen what happens. I'm like, how do we know? Like, we don't actually know what we're getting.
Yeah.
So to say there was too much, like, oh, they show too much of this scene, but like we don't know what that scene is yet. So I think it's hard to say. And honestly, I think that if you're somebody who like does feel that way, which I totally understand, like I know some people who can watch a trailer once and like all of those things are going to be stuck in their head forever, and it does kind of ruin it for them. I would say don't watch trailers then. Like not in like a shady way, but I would just be like, I think you might enjoy it more if you like you don't watch a trailer. For a lot of movies, I don't even watch them. Like, I just turn it on and I'm like, I have no idea what this is gonna be. Jess said it was really good on an up episode, so I'm gonna turn it on, and, like, I stopped before she explained what it was because I'm like, I don't wanna hear the rest, I just wanna watch. But I don't think they show too much. I also try to give it some grace because, like, what are they supposed to do? Like, if they don't put enough in, people are like, "I don't even know what this is about." If they put too much in it, they're like, "They told us everything that's happening." And it's like, I heard people say that for the trailer for Longlegs. I can guarantee you most people did not know exactly how Longlegs was gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm kind of comparing that to Scream, but if you don't wanna have trailers ruin the movie for you, I would say don't watch it. And for me, I thought it was fine. Like, every trailer on earth shows you something that happens. So,
Isn't
like,
it
what are they
funny?
gonna do?
Well, Ash, like you're like when you started your answer, you said something to the effect of like, I'm not being a jerk when I say this. Maybe you shouldn't watch trailers." Like you're saying it so genuinely. Whereas whenever I say it, in the voice of Ryan, you have the Swifty mom, then you have the Swifty dad. And whenever I say it, I do say it like a jerk. Well, if you don't want spoilers, then don't watch the trailer, bitch. Like you should know better. So it's so funny.
Yeah, like, I've already seen some people say, like, "Oh, like, they, like, ruined this and they ruined that," and I'm like, "Okay, you're assuming that, though." Like, you don't like, sure, you're probably right, but you also, like, you don't know that. Like, there's been lots of trailers where we saw stuff, like, everybody was like, "Oh, they ruined." I saw people saying that, like, they were gonna like, they were upset with 5 because it was so obvious that Chad was gonna die. Well, guess what, everybody? He's in fucking 7, so that literally wasn't true.
Well, and, like, that was a common thing with Joel McHale, and, like, listen, if you think that if you think they showed too much of Joel McHale, like, I want you to own that opinion, I agree, I get it, I respect it, but there were a couple people who said they showed Mark's death, and I'm like, "But did they? Did they?" Question mark, question mark, wink face, I don't know, so
I have
nobody
watched a lot of
knows.
Criminal Minds episodes, and I can
Yeah,
say you can have something wrapped around you and you can get out of it.
yeah.
Also, guys, if anything with plastic is wrapped around your face, poke a hole in your mouth. Just saying, especially if it's a bag. I'm just
Got it.
giving my advice of every time I watch somebody being suffocated with something like thin plastic, I'm like, please just open your mouth and poke a hole in it because you have fingers.
Yeah. Well, Ash, is there anything I know you only watched it once, but is there anything from the trailer that was, like that stood out as, like, your favorite moment from the trailer?
I think the mother-daughter and when she says, "I wanna be a fighter like you," like, that just made me I feel like if you had gone through everything that Sydney has, that would feel really special, but also terrifying at the same time, which I think is one of my favorite things about Sydney is that she is always nervous and she's always she's scared, but she, like, pushes through, and I feel like it's really something that if you had a kid, teaching them to like conquer their fears and to move forward, I think is beautiful. And when they're like walking through like the ball or whatever, I was like, "Ooh, I'm excited!" Like I feel like it could be really fun. Oh, and in the end with like the fire, I was like, "Oh shit!" And that's what my thoughts were. Oh shit and fun. This looks
Yeah.
fun and oh shit.
Well, it's fun and it's relatable, and I really love the trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Well, Ash, thank you so, so much. Please tell everybody where they can find you online.
Yeah, you can find me at @Squirrel and Spud. There you can find all of my random thoughts about everything from Taylor Swift, Scream, horror movies, and a little bit too much about Conrad Fisher. And then you can check out the Scream game of the week every Wednesday. Ryan and I work on them, and we have So much fun. I try to trick Ryan every week to see if he can get it. And I also love replying to the sassy comments.
Yeah. Ashley takes the comments, like her job as like the comment like responder very seriously, and we love the dedication to the comments. So thank you, Ash.
I'm so bored. So I'm just like, "Ooh." And a lot of times I'm like, I get what they're saying. And then sometimes I'm wanting to punch a wall, but I don't.
Well, Ash, I have to say thank you for the lovely bouquet and to be married to the hustle. Now I
Yes.
know the life of Sydney Prescott.
Hey, Sam, I see you.
I'm actually just saying the life of the showgirl lyrics. Tonight, this is the second time. The first time was off air, just because I'm trolling Sam. So yeah, it is what it is, and because it's just like
It's so easy.
yeah, it's so easy. So okay, Ash, thanks so much.
Okay. And then I just want to say bye, everybody. I have to take off because I have a crazy migraine and I'm going to go to sleep.
Okay, see you
Okay,
tomorrow.
bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So let's go over now to Ghostface. Hoodie, hey,
So
how's it going?
it's going good.
So, listener, I want to just like illustrate the experience I had opening up my Zoom screen today. So I log on. It's 7:29. I see the list of people, and it's like the usual suspects are we're ready to go. And then it says Ghostface. I'm like, now who is that? Then I saw. I was like, I recognize that background. So welcome, Mr. Ghostface.
Yeah, I was gonna try to keep the mask on, but I could not breathe in that damn thing.
Yeah, I would not advise it. So, oh my gosh, hoodie, what did you think? Because like you texted me after the trailer dropped, and you thought that it did show too much. So
That
give
was
us-
like, I guess my initial thought, because after listening to today's episode, I kind of changed my mind. Because I guess I thought them showing Stu's house on fire was like, I didn't like it because like with Scream 5, they showed Stu's house, and we're like, well, I wish y'all didn't show that because it was like a good scene for Scream 5. It would have been like, oh, they're back at Stu's house, but they showed it in the trailer. So with them showing Stu's house burning in the trailer, I was like, I kind of wish that wasn't shown. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's fine.
it's a fair opinion. Like it's fair to say like, hey, maybe they showed too much. Maybe what they should have done is just show the attack scene at the beginning and not the fire. But the fire is part of the marketing, so that's part
Mhm.
of like the
That's why, like, after
Yeah.
like I sat on it for a while, I was like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah. And like here's the thing. If that's because like I personally don't believe that whatever Mark wrestling with Ghostface, I don't think that's so much of a spoiler. I just think that's a scene in the movie. We don't know. We don't even know the context of it. It could be a dream. Who knows? But, I think that if they were going to divulge a lot of information about a certain scene, I don't mind it being that one because it does that scene sequence at Stu's house doesn't seem so related to the plot and the story of the movie of Sydney's, storyline. So I think it's actually smart to kind of like focus on that and not really tell us much about what is the actual plot, like what's going on in the town of Pine Grove, what's going on with Sydney. We know nothing about the returning characters, like the dead characters and stuff. So I actually think that was kind of a brilliant part of the trailer. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I like the fact that they didn't show a lot. Like we don't, like you said, that we don't know the plot and stuff like that. And I do like that they focused on Sydney and Tatum because I have family that are not into Scream the way I am, like the way we are. So
Yeah.
like they're like, hey, did you realize they dropped the trailer? I was like, yeah. They're like, Sydney's back, and oh my god, she named her daughter Tatum from the girl from the first one. I was like, yeah, no. So it's like people who don't really like outside of like our group, it's like they're actually watching it now. Like they're like, oh, Sydney's back, now I'm gonna watch it.
Well, no, and even I want to take it a step further because I agree with you 100%. I think the brilliant thing about the trailer, and I wish I would have said it in today's episode. I didn't have the thought till listening back to the show today. I was like, the brilliance of the marketing, I think, is like they could have done a trailer where it was just like Stu and Sydney. It could have been like is Stu alive versus Sydney, Sydney being tormented by the ghost of Stu. And they could have played the fan service, to the hills and back. But they didn't. They focused on something very human, something that everybody can relate to. Everybody has a mom. A lot of people are parents, right? So that bond of like a parent protecting their child and teaching their child and that connection, that is so real and it's so universal and it's so well done in the trailer. It's so effective. So it's kind of like a really brilliant way to market the movie to the people that you're talking about, the people who aren't the horror obsessives, the people who don't know all the sequels inside and out like we do, just the general public. And that's why I think this movie is going to like rule the school when it comes to box office and why it has been ruling the school with views on YouTube and TikTok records and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and I also like how you had said about like the few minutes we get with Tatum, but also like the way like I feel like this might be Sydney's best performance outside of 3 because just her face whenever she's trying to help Tatum when she's on the camera. Because I'm like, dude, I don't even know how I would react in that. Like if that was me with my son, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, like you just want to be there, but you can't. So you got to do everything you can just watching it on the phone.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, it's no secret. This podcast was built on the back of Sidney Prescott and Neve Campbell, specifically in Scream 3. But with that being said, I feel like this performance of what we saw could be a bigger performance. Like the one in
Mhm.
Scream 3, it's very emotional, but it's very internal. And this one could be very much bombastic, and she's playing to, the back row as opposed to playing to the camera. So I think it's really exciting. There's so much of Nev's work here we haven't seen yet. Isn't that thrilling,
It is. It really is.
Yeah. What did you think of Tatum herself?
Oh, she looks like she's gonna be amazing. Like,
Yeah.
cause I already have my son showed me movies that she's been in. And I was like, okay, like I could see her being Sydney's daughter.
Cool.
So it's like, and then my son, it was like, do you think this was gonna be better than 3? I was like, it has a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I have to ask, because like Hoodie, you've kind of been with the podcast basically, from the beginning with the Scream 5, with the release of Scream 5, the release of 6, and now 7. So, what would you say is the best trailer? Do you think that like 7 tops 5 and 6 is just as like a trailer marketing a movie? How would you compare the 7 trailer to those 2 trailers?
I think 6 was more creepier in a sense because they made it seem like Ghostface was like, oh, he's not playing this time. But then we get the movie and it's like, what was that? Like it made the trailer seem so much better. Like I'd rather the trailer have been the movie at that point. But
Yeah.
it's to me, 6 was like, I even had my wife and they were like, oh, might actually be scary. And then they watched this one. They're like, well, this one looks scary. I was like, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, cool. Do you have any other thoughts you want to share about the trailer?
No, I think that's it. I mean, yeah, you covered a lot today in today's episode. So
What did you think of Gale?
oh, I can't wait to see her. Like y'all were saying how it looks like her back from 4, and it does. It seems like we're like, hey, she's back, unlike what we got in 5 and 6.
Yeah. I mean, I love her in 5. I think that 5 is kind of in the vein of 4. It's just 6. That's the problem with Gale. I mean,
They really did it wrong in Scream 6.
they did. Poor girl. But so, the outfit, okay? Didn't really notice this at first, but if you see like the scarf that she has on, or like the shirt that's underneath the red blazer, she has like, it's like cheetah print. So it's kind of resembling the look of Scream 1996 when she shows up to the party with the cheetah headband and the red jacket.
Yeah, my friend pointed that out. I was like, man, dude, you're over analyzing this trailer.
And that's the kind of Easter egg that I like, where it's not on the nose. Me, the person who has this podcast about Scream, who's obsessed with Scream, who thinks about Scream literally more times a day than I think about anything else. I didn't recognize that until a couple of days when someone else pointed it out. So thank you, Kevin, for the smart Easter eggs. So, all right, Hoodie, please tell everybody where they can find you and your podcast.
You can find me on X at Hoodie Season, on Instagram at Hoodie Season, and then the podcast anywhere at Hoodie Talks Pod.
Amazing. Thanks, Hoodie.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to go over now to my mama Ghostface. How are you, Carrie?
Good. How are you today?
Good, good, good. So please tell me, what did you think of the trailer?
It was pretty much everything I was expected and wanted. I was at work, and so my friend texted me that it dropped, and I had to I was sitting at my desk, so I had to be like real quiet and in my corner to watch it. But it was everything I was expecting and everything I wanted it to be.
Well,
Yeah.
so as like a Kevin Williamson person, right? Because you're like the queen of Dawson's Creek. So what did you think of what we saw of his filmmaking here? Because this is the first time we've seen him direct a Scream
I
film.
mean, it definitely had his signature on it, I thought. Maybe a little bit more advanced, since he's definitely evolved in 20, almost 30 years. But I definitely could tell, based on the situations we were getting sneak peeks of, I definitely can see his writing on it.
hmm Well, speaking of that, right? An amazing piece of information no one was expecting. I guess so fast. Right? I was expecting him to get the credit. Okay, I wasn't expecting to get that for this to be announced right now. I thought it'd be announced like in January maybe. But Kevin Williamson is going to be a credited writer of Scream 7. In fact, his name is before Guy Busick's name. So, what are your thoughts?
Yep. That's what I was hoping for and what I kind of was expecting. I was just, I'd be like, just knowing how Kevin is, and especially if he's directing, he likes to put his touch on things. I mean, this is his baby. This is what he gave birth to. So he definitely would probably take over, not take over, I shouldn't say that, but take over.
Well, imagine like I don't mean to throw shade, but shade I will throw. Like I just can't imagine Kevin Williamson being satisfied directing a script by Guy Busick or even anybody else for that matter. Like he is such a writer, he would want to write the movie he is going to direct about within the franchise that he
Yeah.
originated and gave him this marvelous career. So I'm so happy for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Scream fans who miss his writing and miss his stamp on the franchise.
Yeah.
So this is a real
Yeah.
auteur moment for him. So
Yeah, no, and I'm someone who's like the opposite of like Ashley, but she left, but I'm the person who every time there's a new Scream movie come out, I watch the trailer over and over and analyze it frame by frame. I'm not gonna say my thoughts or anything because I don't want to ruin it for everyone, but I've always gone into a Scream movie pretty either 100% sure know who Ghostface is or pretty confident. That's just how I am. But I understand for those who don't, so I respect that, and I'll just leave it at that.
well, so I will say though, you have a pretty tough job if you're just going off this trailer because they literally don't show basically anybody else
No.
except for the opening people, but like Neve, Isabel,
Yeah.
Courtney, and the twins. So I mean, there's no
Mhm.
real new characters, and I doubt that people are going to
Mm-mm.
predict any of those five to be the killers. So yeah,
True.
what are your thoughts on the fact that the trailer didn't have any new supporting characters?
I was glad because I think after 6 people, promotion people want to, show that this is we're going back to basics. We're going back to Sydney. She is the scream queen of this franchise. They wanna make it clear that, "Hey, this is Sydney." I mean, I've been watching a lot of reaction videos to the trailer. I've seen where some people who are, I guess, not as deeply involved in the franchise as we are, they'll be like,
Yeah,
"Sydney has a kid?"
girl, keep up.
Yeah, really. But, I wanted to say one last thing. If you guys are not familiar with Isabel May, who plays Tatum, watch, even though I never really cared much or watched, Yellowstone, watch the, spinoffs. It's a very limited show, 1883. She is spectacular on that series.
I have not watched it, and I haven't watched
Yeah,
it yet, but I would like to. I mean, I say this because there's so many shows that I need to watch, right? And Carrie, every day she's just like she texts me, and it's like, so Dawson's Creek, you're on season 3, episode 10. Wink, wink. When's episode 11 happening? But no, I would like to see Isabel. I'm
yeah,
gonna save 1883 until after 7 comes out because I feel like when 7
yeah.
comes out, we're all gonna be in such a jazz mood about Isabel May.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
I don't think people are prepared for how amazing she's gonna be. I just have such positive vibes about her. We're gonna
yeah.
be overwhelmed by her, I think.
No, she's definitely got the chops. She is the real deal.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Well,
yeah.
Carrie, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
Pretty much these days, Instagram, Carrie_Tenny, and that's where you can find me.
Cool.
Mm,
All right. Well, Carrie, thanks so much.
thank you.
All right. I'm gonna go over now to my friend in the UK because it's late where he is. So everybody, please welcome David. Hey, David.
Hello, everyone. How you doing?
It's nice to hear from you.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Pretty good. Very exhausted after a long, long October, but back in the swing of things now.
Well, so I have to ask, what did you think of the Scream 7 trailer?
I think overall it was good. Maybe it did show a bit too much. I was thinking while we were being recording, and yeah, maybe did show a bit too much in that opening scene. What we a supposed opening scene, we obviously don't know yet, but I'd assume it is. Maybe they didn't need to show the fire, but as someone else said, it is the marketing, so that makes sense.
Mhm.
Actually, my favorite part of the trailer wasn't actually anything that actually happened. It was just what hearing Ghostface voice again,
Yeah.
even though it's not been that long since 6, but it just felt more, I don't know, it felt like he put more effort into the voice in the trailer. And
Right.
hearing him say, burn it all down, and then, Stu's line at the end, what we suppose it is Stu's line at the end, was
Right.
honestly my favorite part, just to hear his Matthew's voice again.
Well, and also, to your point, like, there's also just something about like the fact that this is Kevin Williamson dialogue he's saying, and he's talking
Yeah.
to Sydney and like Ghostface talking to Sydney is like the most natural thing in the world. I think to Scream fans, it's just like
Mm.
such like catnip. So what did you think of Sydney's return?
Obviously, I'm very excited. I love Neve Campbell, have for a long time. And I've seen her in other things apart from Scream as well. But seeing Sydney back, I was excited about. having not enjoyed 6 and not enjoyed 5 with her in, but seeing her back was awesome with her daughter. I think that's a great dynamic and something we haven't explored with the franchise yet. Honestly, I was more excited for Gale though. I'm
Oh,
gonna be
yeah?
honest. As a Courtney stan, I've watched Friends, and that's how I got into Scream in the first place. So seeing Courtney on screen was great. In regards to not seeing any other characters, we know probably another trailer is going to come when they're going to introduce all these new people. Obviously, this was just to like an announcement trailer, like a teaser trailer for the new film. So I actually kind of like that they didn't show any other new characters. I kind of like that and just focus on the Sydney of it.
I think it was brilliant. Like, I never would have guessed that they would have done this, but now that it's happened, I can't imagine it happening any other way to bring Scream back. And doesn't it make sense? Because, like, Nev was like, she's the reason we have a movie in so many regards. Like, she's the one who signed up, put her name on the line. She's the one who was able to get Kevin secured, right? She's the one who kind of charged through and led, the Scream team to make this movie. So I actually think it's so fitting that the trailer is so focused on her, and because I mean the film is going to be focused on her, of course. So I like it a lot, David. So tell me about Gail, as a Courtney stan.
I loved seeing Courtney. I kind of liked that we didn't see much of her. So they're like teasing on what might come, considering I wasn't happy with what they did Gale in 6, but I'm not going to go there because I could rant for hours about that. But yeah, seeing Courtney again is always great. Obviously, I've watched so many things Courtney is in, but Gale's always been probably my favorite, maybe. I'm hoping they return Courtney to like a Scream 2, 3, 4 kind of Courtney, because there's a Gale, sorry, because like those are having rewatched all 4 of them in October. I just fell more in love with the character, especially because like in 6 and 5 they didn't really do anything with that character. So I'm excited to see what Kevin can do because I trust in Kevin more than anyone else, apart from Wes, obviously. And having rewatched Sick also in October, he co-wrote that, and you can tell that like his blood is all over that. So to see him get a writing credit, which I did predict, by the way. So again, I couldn't be happier about that.
Well, so can I just throw out a philosophy, a prediction, a theory, might you? Since you brought up Courtney in like Scream 2, 3, and 4, because I feel like, for a lot of Gale fans, like, that's the sweet spot for a lot of people, like OG fans, is like the Gale of the West sequels, right? Because that's where she really, gets to blossom and grow and evolve into a better person, into a more nuanced and more morally
Well-rounded character.
complex person, right? I kind of and like the thing about Gale in those sequels is that she was really driving the mystery. She was driving the story. She was driving the plot, in a lot of respects. And I kind of think that like because the reason why we only got the one moment of her is because a lot of the story, a lot of the mystery is tied up with her. So if they're going for the we're just going to show the mother-daughter angle, it would make sense that Gale would be kind of held back. So because they're trying to keep the secret and the stew and the AI or whatever it is kind of under wraps. So what are your thoughts on that, David?
100% agree with that. Especially with you, obviously, we see her get out of the car and then one of the twins get out. And I think they're going to be highly connected, which one I think is a fantastic thing they should have done in 5 in the first place.
Yeah.
But there's at least in 6 anyway. But anyway, and that's just obviously you have to introduce again, the trailer is for new people. It's not necessarily for us to analyze the trailer, and I've watched it like 5 billion times at this point. Even though I hate trailers nowadays because they ruin everything. But yeah, getting to see, I'm really excited for that dynamic of the twins working with her, and then how that connects to Sydney, and then them all coming together and everything. So I am intrigued. I'm way more excited since watching the trailer than I was before. That's probably because I've been soured on it due to the last 2 films. But having Kevin at the helm is definitely something that I'm hyped about.
Yeah.
Even if there's stuff that happens that I'm not like totally digging, knowing he's at the helm just feels right in 2026.
It does. And like I think like for someone like you who wasn't so hot on 5 and 6, I understand like the hesitancy to kind of recoil and not be so trusting of the franchise. But I think this if there was ever a time to give it a second chance, like in terms of lending your trust, this is it, right? With like the
Absolutely.
a clean reboot of the creative team and the narrative focus. We love it. So David, it was so nice to chat with you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I would just like to add all the people that are coming back. I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
They are mostly my favorite, so very excited for that. But yeah, great to talk to you, Ryan, and everyone else.
Woohoo! Well, David, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Instagram and you can find me on Twitter, ranting usually about something, being awful or whatever, at David16996 on Instagram and on Twitter.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right. I want to go over to my friend Maria. Hey, Maria.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you? How's
Good.
everybody doing?
I'm so excited to hear your thoughts on the trailer, my friend. So hit me with it.
So I was on a conference call, a management conference call, and I got a text message from someone else on the call in my office who said, "Did you see the Scream 7 trailer?" And
Yeah.
I was like, and we were all on camera and he was smirking at me and I'm like, "Oh God, oh God." So I had to wait a whole hour and a half to watch it. Then I put it on and of course people decided to talk to me.
Yeah.
So finally, I had my headphones on, and I just was like watching it on my big screen, computer screen, and I was blown away. Because it had all the feels of 1, 2, and 3, and even a 4. It just brought me right back to that. I didn't feel like anything was forced. It just seemed all so natural that this is where we were now.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was great. I just thought it was fantastic. I watched it 3 times and then I said, "Not gonna watch it anymore because I wanna go to the movie theater and I wanna be like." But I do think it's all out of sequence.
Yeah. So are you saying that
Definitely out of sequence.
do you think the Macher House stuff happens at the very end as an epilogue as opposed to the opening?
I have a thought on that I don't wanna share.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I'll share it. I have a thought that actually is a flashback to when Amber burned the house down.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
That's how I feel, and I feel that way because of how Ghostface says to Sydney, "It's a lot like where we grew up."
Okay. Yeah.
So, but I just thought it was great. I cannot wait. I don't care about holidays. Just get me to February. That's my holiday.
I feel like Scream 7 deserves its own holiday. February 27th is National Scream Day. So, Maria, I know you are a big Dewey fan and you were very sad that he was killed off in Scream 5. What
Yes.
did you think of David's voiceover in the trailer? Did you recognize it immediately? Did you get it on the second or time or what
Mm,
were your
I
thoughts?
got it on the 3rd time
Okay.
because, like I said, I was watching at work and there was, people just don't leave you alone. I don't
Absolutely.
know. What is that with work? But, it made me sad because I really feel like he should have been part of this.
Yeah.
I really, I feel retcon 100% because the last 2 movies just did not have the same feel, the same momentum. It just didn't have, and the characters did not have the same connection as Dewey, Gale, and Sydney.
Well, so I have to ask. I know we didn't really see them acting together so much, and we barely saw them at all. But we saw Gale and the twins in this. So, as someone who's not so hot on 5 and 6, what are your thoughts on what we were on the little bit of footage we saw of the twins and Gale?
Gale, I cannot wait to see what they do, especially since they left us hanging with what the hell happened to her.
Yeah,
It's the what happened to Gail? If she's hanging in there. What does that mean? What happened to her?
we didn't see her. I know. Oh
What
my
happened?
gosh.
And as far as the twins, whatever, they're younger than Sydney and Gail. They're older than Sydney's daughter.
Hmm.
I don't know really how they fit into all of this except the fact that this person is referencing back to home
Right.
in Woodsboro.
Yeah.
That's about it. And I feel like there's some reason they're there. It's connecting them to something, to
Hmm.
some part of this. So I don't know.
So, let's cut to the chase. Let's get to the meat here. So, and her daughter. What were your thoughts on everything Neve and Isabel?
I believe they were mother and daughter.
Oh yeah.
Just
Really?
from that little bit, I was like, yeah, that's what a mother would do.
Yeah.
A mother would call and be like, "You have to do this. You have to." And I believed it. So I can't wait
That
to see the full of it.
best moment of the trailer, in my opinion, was that scene you just referenced. Like, first of all, I can't believe that they let that scene in the trailer because I feel like that's going to be one of the best scenes in the movie. But I'm glad we got to see it. I mean, it's so good.
So
Yeah,
much more to it. I
yeah,
feel there's so much more to the beginning part of it and the end part of it. So
exactly.
that's just a little teaser in there. But
Right.
I can't wait. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I'm very excited. And like I said, with just the trailer, Sydney is a horror icon, and I feel like she has surpassed, I'm sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis.
You're preaching to the choir here. Like, so, because
Oh,
like
okay.
I've been saying like these. I've been over like the month of October. I gave a lot of people who were on like the Hallow Scream questions where I said, "Well, who's your favorite Scream queen? Jamie Lee Curtis or Neve Campbell?" And almost everybody picked Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm like, "What the fuck? This is a Scream podcast. Get your shit together, people."
Listen, I love Jamie Lee Curtis, but her signing on to those last 3 movies killed her history for me, her legendariness for me. Because in my opinion, and you know this, H2O, that's the way it should have ended. Not that she became this drunk and her whole life was terrible and she became a wreck. You killed the character. You killed who she was,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
But
I'm
I don't
glad.
want to talk about Jamie Lee. I want to talk about Nev and
Well,
Courtney and
anything else you want to say about Nev? And anything from the trailer?
no, but Stu's voice was the best.
Oh yeah.
I love Stu's voice. That I picked up immediately.
See,
Stu,
I was the opposite. I noticed David immediately, but I didn't notice Matthew until like the fourth time. Everyone's like saying, "Oh, Matthew Lillard's voice." I'm like, I didn't fucking hear Matthew's voice. And
heard it immediately and I went, and he's just like, yes, Billy, but he was just the perfect sidekick killer. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I loved him. So I'm very, very excited. So I'm pretty sure that my rankings will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Because
cool.
I'm a purist. So
I love my trilogy people. So all right, well, Maria, thank you so much for coming tonight. And where can they find you online?
on Instagram at Cha Cha.
Okay, cool. All right, thank Maria.
Thank you.
Let's go over now to my friend Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hi, Ryan. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. As always, I'm very happy to be here.
Well, Sam, I'm eager to hear your thoughts on the Scream 7 trailer, considering the bumpy ride that you and I have been on. We've been arm in arm for the past 2 years, and I feel like I've been at times holding you captive here talking about Scream 7, but I want to hear what are your thoughts of the trailer?
No, you are correct. I have not been shy about my skepticism for these past 2 years. So I am happy to report that I really liked the trailer. I thought it was really good. I thought it was very well done. I thought that the set pieces had a level of intensity to them that I hadn't seen in a while that restores my faith in the hope that Kevin Williamson's directing skills have really improved. Yeah, I was Nev's performance seemed really on point. Really, really impressed with a lot of it. There is one point of contention in the trailer that irritated the crap out of me, but since you and Ashley have already beat that horse to death, I feel like I have nothing else to say. I feel
What
like
is
I
it?
would continue to the Mark's oak Mark.
Okay, tell me
His
about it.
it's all I mean, it's already been discussed. It appears from the trailer that they've spoiled his death, and that really annoyed me. So, I know you wanted to say something, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to but I mean, I just wanted to address the fact that, like, that seemed to be the most spoilery thing that I've seen in a Scream trailer yet, at least in terms of me being able to make it out and how much time they spent on it, which I know still wasn't much, but I know they have to drum up excitement for it. Personally, did not feel that. Okay, so people always compare it to the trailer for 5. I
Mhm.
personally did not feel that the trailer for 5 necessarily revealed too much until I looked at the trailer on YouTube, and then stupid me, I scrolled down through the comments and
Girl.
naturally listen, it's just listen, it's yeah, and then everyone was just like, "Amber and Richie are the killers, and here's why, because I've spent, like, 3 hours freeze framing every single this trailer for, like, the past month, and now I can point to you what." And I'm like, "Look,
Well,
made me miss the days of like internet of like online chat rooms on the IMDb where they could tell you like, oh, Scream 4 spoilers, don't come in here if you don't want to find out who the killers are. And now people are just being like, hi, I spent all this time decoding like who killed who, like who the killers are in this based on this trailer. And now I'm going to tell you all without giving you a warning. Yeah.
well, Sam, I feel like you stumbled upon Carrie Tenney's comments on YouTube on the Scream 5 trailer. I'm just teasing.
I'm still a moderate Scream 5 defender. So it's
I am too. I am too. So tell me more about your reaction to the trailer because I love that it passed the Sam sniff test here because you are kind of a hard ass when it comes to film criticism and television criticism. So tell me more.
You are correct. I have perhaps unreasonably high standards, and I will stick by them. But yeah, that being said, like I said, as I've said, we've talked about this for a long time. I'm kind of like, it's been hard for me to work up enthusiasm for it. The trailer is really good, and it did get me excited for it. Like I've told, and also like I've said before, agreed, Alex. But I learned my lesson too late for that. Like I said before, Sydney does not live in a war-torn country. She's been through enough. I'd rather just see a normal drama about her life as a wife and mom with like raising her family. Like that would actually make me happy. And I know people think I'm sick for that, but I don't care. She's been through enough. I love her. She deserves her happy ending. And it's kind of stretching my possibility at this point that there are like lunatics who would still go after her for like whatever reason. It's going to be who they could possibly else pull out of the past now to like make them want to kill her. Anyway, look, that being said, the trailer is so well done and the set pieces look so good. And, the acting, the editing, the relationship between her and Isabel May, as her daughter Tatum, lovely touch. The scene where we're gonna have to do this together. You're gonna have to shoot him through the wall. Like amazing, amazing.
And that scene in particular, I feel like
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm going to be so annoying about this from now until the end of the podcast in 40 years. That scene is so good on character development levels in both directions, in terms of Tatum, like having to really like grow into the fighter she allegedly wants to become, but also Sydney having to be like the mother who is like letting her daughter do it by herself. Like she literally can't help her other than just to, verbally tell her. She can't show her in real life, so it's just like the restraint that Sydney has to show in that moment, right? And allow Tatum to grow into doing something, I think it's really brilliant. It's a really cool design of a scene for both of them that's really going to push both characters. I haven't even met Tatum. I don't know who this bitch is, but they're just going to push them both into wildly new space, especially Sydney. It's so exciting to see Sydney in this high pitch of an emotional moment as a mom, I think.
No, I know. Again, I love that Sydney's a mom. I'd love to, and that she's a wife, though apparently not for long. And I would love to see, really, I would love to see that. It also amuses me that Roman and Jill are screaming at her from down in hell, being like, why can't anyone finish this bitch off? But no, I'm really excited. I'm really, really amped up about this for now. And I think that's, it's not that I didn't think that Kevin Williamson could pull this off. It's just that based on where the franchise had gone at this point, I was really not feeling it. But listen, never count out the creative mind. So I'm grateful that thank you, Brett, our local stenographer. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I'm hoping that it's better than the last several movies. I really am. Fingers crossed. Fingers
Well,
crossed.
I love that. Sam, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
All right. You can find me online at Sam B. Levy on Instagram and Facebook.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. All right. I need to go over to my friend Isa. I haven't seen this guy in a while. Welcome, my friend.
Hi, I missed you guys. I almost missed you this time around.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
having a phone call with my mom, and after that, I got distracted by watching a Scream movie. So I figured you'll all understand.
Well, it's fun that you were talking to your mom, and we're here talking about a movie where the mom and daughter are on the phone with each other in weird ways. So,
Yeah.
Isa, can I tell you whenever I see like your name pop up in the chat, or when I saw you pop in tonight, the thing I always think of when I think of you is the song "Clean," because you came on the Swiftie episode we did 2 years ago, and you talked about that song. So every time, even when I listen to that song, you're the first person I think of. So
Nice. Thank you. I love that. I love that song, really. I had to listen to it at least 5 times a week, to keep myself sane.
I love it. So let us, let the rain fall down, and we can talk about Scream 7 here. So tell me about your thoughts on the trailer.
I thought it was great. The first time I watched it, I had to start watching it again immediately because there was so much happening that I couldn't completely take in. But I loved it. I loved it. I feel like some scenes were a little too obvious and they gave maybe so much away. But also Scream is also kind of one of the masters at gaslighting us.
Yeah.
So if there's a chance that maybe some of the scenes the ones that are not obviously out of order. Some of them are not exactly what they seem. And one thing I did catch on the first watch was two boys at the end, which is exactly why I had to start over and start paying attention to all the other stuff. And I realized that we have Dewey's boys in there, which I thought it made me so kind of emotional because I kind of missed it. And I thought it was great. I love that scene when by the end, when Sydney screams mother. Clearly she says motherfucker, but they updated it for the PG audience.
Yeah.
At first, my only thought was yes, you are mother. I don't even care that it's such a cheesy edition. You are mother. So
listen, I'm a millennial who just can't get down with the Gen Z slang, but I thought that touch was chef's kiss because we could be intellectual about it, be like, oh well, the whole story is about her being a mother, but also it can also be the Gen Z TikTok mother queen. So I love it, and I honestly that was my favorite shot of her with the gun. I love Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott holding a gun, and we got it here in a real cool way. So I mean, we got a couple, but that was my favorite shot of her holding a gun.
Yeah, I love it. I love women holding guns. I feel like it's incredible. I was kind of hoping, I was rewatching Scream 4, and I remember thinking that when that trailer dropped, I felt the same sense of excitement. The first time being like, oh my God, Scream is coming back in this all different ways. But I remember that at Scream 4, this trailer disappointed me that Neve wasn't holding a gun at any point. And I was like, okay, maybe she's going to go a different way. But yeah, I remember I make that connection.
It's interesting that you say that because in Scream 4, the trailers is that from what I remember, in Scream 4, she does the opposite. She has a knife. So she has the knife at Kirby's house and the knife at Kate's house. So that was a switch.
But I always felt like there was some disconnection about it. I feel like Sydney at some point has to hold the knife because she's being chased by so many knives throughout her life. So that never impacted me. I feel like her holding a gun makes her I don't know, puts her in a different position, from the killers, they have their own MO and stuff. She doesn't care, if it's gun or knife, she wants to kill those motherfuckers. I always loved seeing her with the gun. I feel like it also shows a stronger sense of herself, especially because I feel like in 3, when her story wrapped beautifully, honestly, every time I watch Scream 3 and sometimes I'm like, wow, you really don't need another one. I love all the sequels. I feel like she was in a different place. Even though she had a gun in Scream 3, it was like a defense mechanism. While I feel like in overall, they could have used that power. Well, that she has in 5. It's just that she's not the lead, so it's not as impactful of being like, okay, whoever's doing this, I'm getting you out of this. Holding the gun for that.
So, I'm glad that you bring up Scream 3 because it's you're right. Her story, when you watch Scream 3, it is the tightest bow you could put on any character ever, right? In terms of how she's exercised and the transformation she goes through and just the emotional wallop that she goes through in Scream 3. But, I think as I've grown up, I think one thing I've learned is one story, one phase of our lives, one phase of our lives end and then another phase will begin many years later. And I kind of think that it would make sense. I think you could almost skip over 4, 5, and 6 after Scream 3 and almost pick up here with Scream 7 with Sydney as a mom, because it's this is just a whole. Sydney was dealing with that struggle, those ailments, and now as an adult, as a woman, as a mom, and as the head of a family, it's a whole new set of challenges. So I think that's what's so fun about Scream 7 is that the sky's the limit in terms of the possibilities, and I hope the freshness. I really hope that there is a sense of that this is a chapter 1 of a new story. So did you get that sense from the trailer?
Absolutely. I actually was just thinking about that earlier today, that you could totally ignore the events in 4 and even 5 and 6, and they can be just a funny anecdote for Sydney's life, but the story really could have just ended in 3 and just brought back in from 7. And I feel like the emotional impact is not going to change, even though there were other cycles in the middle, and it's not the first time we start Sydney's life all over,
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for that.
What did you think of Tatum?
I like that. I feel like she is really embracing the character. I actually totally believed it, her sense of danger, she's always crying and screaming, and her screaming mom, that also got to me and being like, oh my God, this is Disney's worst fear is coming true, And I feel like already in the trailer, I sense a lot of chemistry. So I feel like they're going to have a lot of chemistry themselves. And I kind of excited to meet Sydney's daughter. And I love that her name is Tatum. And I actually am expecting for her to be the opposite of the Tatum that we all know and love, because that will create also kind of a nice contradiction.
Yeah.
I'm excited to meet her, and I really hope that if we get a lot of screen time with Makina Grace. She's barely in the trailer, but there are already a lot of theories about her outfit. But I kind of wanted to see her like scream or like cry or something because she's
Yeah.
one of the few people that I follow, like from the young cast that I follow since years, since she was a kid. And I'm so happy that she's in a Scream movie.
Me too. And apparently Scream is like genuinely like her favorite movie. I know like all these young bucks say this, say, "Oh, I love Scream. I watched it all the time growing up." But I feel like with her, it's like real. I love that she's in Scream. I love that she's excited to be in Screams. And I'm looking forward to seeing whatever she has in store for us.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be exciting.
Isa, anything else you want to share about the Scream trailer?
No, that it was incredible, and every time I can, I try to like, rewatch it because I don't know if I'm going to be ready for anything that's going to happen. I feel like it's one of those movies that is before and after seeing it.
Yeah.
Just also an effect that I noticed that hasn't happened since Scream 3. You could, in the sense that you could skip the movie, or this movie could have happened, but it doesn't feel like the before and after in the character's life and in the story arc. So that's what I'm so excited about. And what other doors is going to open.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. Isa, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
I'm trying to stay more active on Instagram and call me by Isa. So you can find me there.
So is that, I assume that's a reference to Call Me by Your Name. Love it. Love it. I mean, I always assumed it. I've assumed it for years. Probably since 2023, but I've never asked. So we have a confirmation here. So
Yeah, no, yeah, I did. I actually lost my Instagram account like in the same year Call Me by Your Name happened, and I had to start a new one. And I was like, okay, I don't want to have my name again, just simply my name. I just have just seen Call Me by Your Name, and so like, okay, I got an idea.
love it. So cool. Well, Isa, thank you so much for coming.
How I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, let us now go over to my friend Alex, chomping at the bit to talk about Scream 7 with Mr. Ghostface over here. So you have a Ghostface stuffed animal. I have the same one. I have not told you. I haven't named mine, but you have named yours. So please, which Ghostface is that?
That is Roman Bridger from Scream.
We love it because Alex, I feel like you love to troll me. So I love that you get to
Do I?
Oh, you troll me. You troll the shit out of me. But we love a Scream 3 homage here.
It's only fair. But how you doing, Ryan?
Well, thanks for asking. How
How's
about you?
everybody doing? I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. I had a great October, so I can't complain.
Well, so tell me about it. Scream 7.
I was kind of with Sam. He left, so oh well. With being a little skeptical for my own reasons, but it's a Scream movie, so of course I was excited to finally see a trailer. Hey, I may have gotten the week prediction wrong when it was supposed to come out, but I got the month right, so brownie points.
You did. You did.
Technically, but
yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Did.
When it came out, I mean, we heard that rumor like, oh, it was gonna be Thursday, October 30th. I didn't believe it, and I was at work when it was released, and I saw a friend of mine messaged me right when it came out, and half an hour later, I saw the message. I was on my first break at work. and When I saw the message, I went somewhere quiet so I could see the damn thing, and I was satisfied with it. Yes, I am one of those people that I think it showed a little bit too much. But to be fair, though, and I wish he was here, Amir. I'm defending a little bit. Yeah, it did show too much, but at the same time, I'm gonna have to go your side. Compared to Scream 5 and 6, compared to those trailers, it didn't show as much.
Thank you.
Gotta be fair on that.
Take that, Amar.
But I mean, as a standalone trailer, the Mark thing, they could have not shown that. I mean, there's a little bit in the trailer where you see Ghostface dragging him
Yeah.
on the ground. To show that, I would have been fine with it. But the wrapping the plastic bag over his body and he stabs him. I guess it. I mean, editing can be can fool us.
They're wrestling. I don't think it's
Yeah.
like I don't think it's
It
not
could be bait
wrapping
and
over.
switch.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, trailers do that all the time, especially horror trailers.
well, so Alex, I have a question for you
Mhm.
specifically because like of everybody like here tonight, I think you're probably like at least like within the Patreon, like at least the people who are active in like the Instagram group and who come to the Zooms, I would probably say you're one of like the bigger fans of the Radio Silence era, as in like both movies, like you really, really like them higher up in your ranking. So what are your thoughts as like a younger, as like a fan with an affection for the newer movies? What's your perspective here? How do you recognize Scream 7 while also balancing those two new movies within the past couple of years?
Well, they can still coexist. I mean, I'm glad they're not exactly retconning 5 and 6 or even, like, just kinda, like, put them on the side because you do have Chad Menney showing up in this trailer. So, though events happen, I mean, I'm sure they'll reference them, kinda like how sometimes they reference the past sequels in some of these movies, but they're not gonna go on about I don't think whoever the killer is gonna monologue about, Sam and Tara. I really don't
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the whoever the killer is or killers, would care much about looking for them. I mean,
Mm,
it's about the characters that are in the movie that
yeah.
whoever the killer, wants to attack or kill. But, I mean, is your question more like, what do you feel like I'm gonna rank them by comparison?
No, I guess my question
Mm,
is more, we just got through, 2 movies with different main characters, and
right.
we're getting a very different Scream movie. So, how does it feel to watch this Scream trailer now, having just gone through those other 2? I guess is what I was saying.
I'm fine with it. I made peace with it at this point. I mean, it's, if this movie, Scream 7, would have come out a year after Scream 6 and it's no Sam and Tara, I probably would have felt a little better. But I think enough time has passed where, okay, I'm warm up to the fact that, okay, they're not there. Oh, well, we all know why, but, I don't wanna get into that. But, it's Sydney. She's the focus. Fine with that. I love that she's my favorite final girl of all time, and I liked how it was focused on the mother-daughter, relationship. That was the main focus, and you guys already talked about that. That's what I really liked about the trailer, and the whole burning down the house, I didn't feel that was a spoiler or showing too much. It's just part of the marketing because it's in the poster,
Yeah.
and that's the tagline, "Burn it all down," which I feel like I don't know, I don't no one's ever hasn't brought this up tonight, but that kinda feels like a finale tagline. To me, it does,
It
because
does, it
if it
does.
was just a line in the trailer, that's one thing, but it's literally the tagline of the movie for
I
now.
think that it just means,
You
like,
think?
I think it's just trying to be fun and sensational. There's gonna be a Scream 8,
Maybe.
bitch. Come
But I
on.
think I think there's more to that line than just being sensational.
Okay.
Same with how Ghostface says to Sydney, "Oh, I'm not hiding, not this time." Well, what the hell does
Yeah.
that mean? Well, let's wait and see.
You know what it means? It means the same thing that Ghostface meant when he said, "I'm something different for Scream 6."
Right, but but if I'm gonna give the movie the benefit of the doubt, saying maybe there's meaning to that line, and that line's in the actual movie this time.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
I agree. I think it's a cool tagline. And honestly, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something more like "Welcome home, Sydney," I don't know.
that's been said before. You want some fresh lines, and I like that they didn't show. Actually, besides Sydney and Tatum, they didn't show any other characters that much, which I
No.
like. They pulled back on that, even with Gale. Like she probably had the best line in the trailer, but that was her only line.
Gale was used so effectively in the trailer. Like, 'cause every time I've watched the trailer with several people in real life
Hmm.
and, like, online, but, like, every time that it gets to Gale's moment, everyone that I've watched it with gets so excited and they get like they kinda do like arms in the air cheer because I mean, like, she's such a special character, and because the trailer is telling us the story about Sydney and Tatum, and to just get that big dash of Gale in the middle, it's so satisfying. So, I am really excited to see how she's used,
Yeah, me
here.
too. Another thing is, I also want to defend Omar in this. I didn't also notice the David Arquette voice when I first saw the trailer, so he's not the
Okay.
only one. I did notice the Stu voice because Matthew Lillard's voice is a little more recognizable by
Mhm.
comparison. It didn't cross my mind. Like, so I heard the line said
Mhm.
about like, "Oh, everybody close to you, your friends die," or whatever the line was. I heard it, but I didn't recognize his voice until like the second and third time,
Right.
which kind of confirms the AI voices or voice
Yeah.
changer.
Maybe.
Oh,
We'll see.
I wish we were Roman, but that's okay. We have to wait for the movie for that one.
No, that's okay. I can, I'm excited to see Roman again, and I don't want it to. I'm actually glad that we didn't see anything from David, like David's physical appearance, Matthew's, or even Scott's. Like, I think that it was good to just keep that to the side and focus on what really matters to the meat of Scream 7.
And that's
Um,
something I told you. Like, I wish they would have never announced it now because they didn't show them. So it's like it would have been like, oh shit, like we heard their voices. What's going on? It would have been like shocking for us to hear in the trailer. But we expected at least something. So there's that. Even if it's just a little bit. And I was gonna say one last thing but I forgot. Sorry, maybe it'll come up to me later on. I'll write it in the chat.
Alex, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Instagram, where I hang out most of the time, Alex L Gran 90, or you can just find me on my YouTube channel, Alex 3.0, where I sometimes make videos if I feel like it.
Hey, Bria, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. So, my gosh, you are going to have an episode coming up actually about the Scream 1 finale. And of course, the finale of Scream 1 takes place at the Macher House. Bria, can you tell me, besides like that video that we all were watching this week of the Macher House getting burned down, tell me about the Macher House.
It was so cool. I was talking to my mom over the last few years. I'm like, I really want to go tour this house. Like, please. And she's like, okay, well, maybe we can tour it and like we can go in October because like her aunts live in like California, like Northern California. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And she's like, how about Halloween? I'm like, Mom, are you sure that's your birthday? She was like,
Oh,
yeah, my mom, she's is a proud witch. So she was just like, yeah, let's go on Halloween, it's spooky. I was like, Okay, I'm down." And so we planned it out finally, and I went with her and my cousin, and it was so cool. I just cried.
well, I love that. I'm so glad that you got to go on Halloween because, like, I appreciated that. Whenever your pictures are coming through, I was like, holy shit, she went on Halloween night to Stu Macher's house. That is crazy. I know someone who was at Stu Macher's house on Halloween. That's so cool.
Yeah, no, I was surprised that she was willing to do it on her birthday because
Mhm.
she's not big into scary movies at all, but I was like, "Mom," like, always pushing her to watch Scream with me. Yeah, she thought it was spooky and wanted to go.
Well, that's awesome. Well, so Bria, tell me, what did you think of the Scream 7 trailer?
I liked it. I remember I woke up with the notification that it dropped, and I was like, "Oh my god." I, like, screamed, immediately went to go watch it. I woke up my cousin who was in the other room of the Airbnb we were at, and she was like, "Oh my god, what is going on?" I'm like, "It's out. It's out." She was like I'm like, "The Scream 7 trailer."
Aw.
But yeah, no, I really liked it. I liked all the mother and daughter with,
Mm.
Sam I mean, not Sam, with, Sydney and Tatum. I love that her name's actually Tatum, and I didn't hear David or Matthew's voice until, like, a few watches, but I thought that was really cool, and I gotta admit, I was a bit sad seeing the house burn down.
Yeah. Really? Tell me about it.
Uh, I don't know, I feel like I'm just so attached to, the Scream 1 finale because that's, like, my favorite scene ever, and so it kinda made me sad, but, I mean, I think it'll be interesting.
Well, I'm really excited to do our episode about the Scream 1 finale and really dive into that scene and kind of like the template that set for the rest of the films and how it's kind of different from the other finales. So that's stay tuned. So that's going to be coming in December for the Scream 1 anniversary, of course. So, what did you think of Tatum in terms of her as a new character for Scream?
Liked it. I thought she seemed really, really good. I haven't seen that actress in anything, so I thought in the trailer she seemed like very, good to play, Sydney's daughter.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. So I love that you're coming to her completely fresh. I mean, I'm still fresh with her. I've seen her in a couple of things, but it'll be fun to see Isabel May as Tatum in Scream 7. Did you notice the Scream 2 jacket that she was wearing, allegedly, Sydney's jacket in Scream 2?
Oh, I actually didn't notice that. That's really cool.
Yeah, so apparently, like, cause like the image that they released of her, because they released Sydney, they released Gale and Ghostface and Tatum, and in Tatum's image, like she's sitting like at the kitchen counter, and the leather jacket she has on is the it's supposed to be an allusion to the Scream 2 jacket, and they're going to talk about it in the movie. So should be cool. Yeah, cool. Well, Bria, do you have anything else you want to share about the Scream 7 trailer?
Also saw the outfit McKenna Grace was wearing, the blue plaid. I don't know, we all know the people who wear blue plaid end up being Ghostface, so I think that was really interesting.
Awesome. Well, that's and like a lot of people have brought that up to me. It's so funny to me that like they put that in the trailer. They definitely did that on purpose. They're I don't know. At first, like way back, like when she was announced, I thought, oh, she's gonna be one of the killers. I'm not so certain anymore that she will be, but I love that Kevin Williamson or in the marketing team knew like, oh, McKenna Grace is a big star, and like so let's and she wears plaid in the movie, so let's throw this in here because the Scream fans are gonna definitely pick up what we're putting down.
Yeah. Yeah, I either thought she was gonna be Ghostface or the opening kill, but I'm just going in blind. I want to know.
Awesome. Well, Bria, tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Bria Patterson.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Bria.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to go over to my friend Jess here. Jess, I know that you got to unload with me and Anthony and Amar over the weekend, but please tell me, do you have any updated thoughts about the conversation we're having tonight?
Well, I love hearing everyone's reactions. I was actually quite surprised that Sam liked it. That was a big like pleasant surprise. I'm happy that the trailer is good enough to even, get people with like I guess his standards. Not that it's bad because I think people call me a hard ass all the time.
You are. In
Yeah.
a good, in a good way, but yeah, different way. But yeah, you're a hard ass too.
Yeah, so I'm glad that he liked it. For me, like everyone's talking about, like, that we're surprised that it was so Sydney centric, but I feel like that's just such a big flex, after all these years of, everyone saying, "Oh, Neve, she's washed. No one cares about Sydney," and to some degree, the studio and influencers playing into that. I wonder how much of that was just like, Neve or Kevin being like, okay, this is gonna be make or break, like sort of like this is the story. And if people care, they will come. And obviously people care. And I wanted to I guess, talk a little bit about Sydney and Tatum. Tatum Prescott, as per IMDb. I love it. Because that's the legacy, not Evans. Who the fuck is he? Right? No, for real though. Who the fuck is he? Tatum Prescott. Okay? He didn't do shit. He didn't do shit. So yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just think it's so funny because, we don't even see Mark in the trailer. It's
Right.
literally, and for being Sydney's husband, right? I think that, if there's one thing, I do wish we saw at least a real frame of him. I would love to see. I'll be interested to see what Sydney Prescott is like as not only just a mom, but as a wife, as a partner in 2025. Like, how does she act with him? Because you and I have talked about Sydney's relationships before, and I'm just I'm curious to see how she's grown as a romantic partner. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious too, but they kind of kept that really hidden. Like, you can spot Mark behind her. He had some sort of uniform. I won't say anything in case people don't want to know. And, I'm hoping that it's a relationship that's quite good. Obviously, there's going to be some strain because of the events that are happening. But I do want to see a depiction of a healthy relationship. We kind of haven't had that as of yet, in this type of story. And I guess I wanted to focus in on just how grounded this film feels emotionally. We're talking about that moment between Tatum and Sydney when she says, I want to be a fighter like you. And then Sydney's face is perfect in the sense that there's so much weight to it. It's like she's looking at her like, you don't know what you're asking, You have that's how the read I get from Neve in that moment.
Can I ask, do you think when was the last time we had a real Sydney look like that? I don't think that there really was one in Scream 5.
No, not at all.
Not to that extreme. I mean, there were good moments of her in Scream 5. I think the last shot of her with Sam, I think maybe, but no, not like that. That look, I think OG fans know what a Sydney Prescott stare is. And I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And I just wanted to also, again, once again with Sydney, what this means to her is so huge, right? Because if she fails, and even if Tatum survives, her daughter is destined to have the future that she had, right? No mom at a young age and defending herself for life. And then the fact that they named her Tatum works so well on two levels. It's okay, it's an homage, it's, having this constant memory, but that constant memory was killed. So it gives a fragility to Tatum, an extra fragility that makes her feel just because that's her name, I'm sure that might play a role a little bit with Sydney. Ooh, I named her this, but I also lost Tatum in real life, I could not impact that death at all. So I really enjoy just the little layers as I rewatch the trailer of emotion that I'm seeing between the two actresses,
Yeah. Well, have you seen Isabel in anything else?
No, you mentioned the movie before we recorded the pod, so I was going to check that out. I did hear about the show that Carrie was talking about. I just hadn't watched it because I was in school. So yeah, I don't know. I'm open to it. How do I feel about her? I again, I don't quite know just yet because everything was so cut. Does she feel okay? She feels okay. I need to see more, right? Because you said when we were talking, they really kind of keep her personality hidden. We only see that one moment with Sydney, and I think that was just to serve Sydney's character for the trailer, not necessarily to say anything about her. Tatum anyway.
Sometimes whenever I'm recording with someone like Amar, who I'm very comfortable with, it's like playing volleyball. And whenever he said, "Oh well, the trailer just showed too much of Sydney and Tatum," I mean, we saw everything about them. I'm like, girl, I'm gonna just serve this volleyball down and be like, what do we know about her personality, bitch? So that and Amar was like,
Yeah.
well, Ryan, you're actually right there. So yeah. I thought that the trailer was excellent, and I really appreciated your perspective on the show today. I got some messages from people saying like, "Wow, we've never seen Jess in this form before."
Well, yeah, because I'm usually so intellectual, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm usually talking about something mental health. I was
You're
excited.
coping.
No, because I'm done. Like I said, I've had it with these haters. I've had it with them in their fantasy that this movie is not going to work out because it is working out. We see the interest. And I don't know. I just, beyond everything, I've had it with people discrediting or minimizing Nev's worth. I won't have it. Okay. It's a delusion that she's not an icon.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for this film to come out because I think everyone's been mentioning, right, around that we kind of can feel Kevin's hand on this. And more than that, the maturity is back, the stakes are back. I'm hoping that in this film, when people get hurt, it matters again. I couldn't be more excited for this. It's like I feel like it's a coming home.
Yeah. And I just want to I don't want to bring down the mood here, but just to build on Jess's point. I know I preach. I know sometimes I come off as preachy about Nev Campbell, but I think that in a couple of years when we look back, let's just say we do get Scream 8 and 9, and as we're kind of winding down with 9, let's just say that's Nev and Kevin being like, okay, we're gonna just put this to bed now. I think we're gonna look back at this time and be like, wow, people were so fucking vile and disrespectful to Nev for no reason. And I don't understand why. I just can't imagine people ever treating Jamie Lee Curtis like this, and the way that they've talked about her. And maybe it's just because it's just been so long that we've been in this period without a movie and without seeing Sydney back. But I think that it's going to be a Twilight Zone moment for a lot of people who didn't appreciate how nasty people were to her.
Right. I've always said that I feel like the studio themselves created this permission structure to devalue Nev when they refused to pay her. And I think that plays a large role, right? Because Blumhouse truly, they uplifted, they elevated Jamie. I mean, she didn't need it, but they supported her.
Of all people in the world, Jamie Lee Curtis is the last person that needs that extra boost, but they had her back. I mean, they really
Mhm.
made that her showcase.
Right. And I truly hope that this is the same for Nev because she really deserves it, and no matter what, objective reality still exists. So the Scream, OG Scream, I think Maria said, the purest timeline will still exist. The best, the most respected film in the franchise she is part of, all our best players are part of. They will never erase her from this. That's film history right there. And no matter how much, people want to elevate, again, I don't hate Melissa, I don't hate Jenna. But this idea that because they're new, they're more valuable, I reject wholesale, and that offends me. So that's why I'm harsh when I say Sam and Jenna can fuck off and come back in a spinoff. I don't believe they deserve main movie. They get a spinoff after this. Fuck that. Because I think that, especially after this trailer, this just shows how much Scream feels right when Sydney's in the forefront. This is
Yeah.
her story,
Yeah. No, I get it for real. All right, well, Jess, thank you so much for coming and for this double dose of Jess, for the Scream 7 trailer. Please tell everybody where they can find you online.
Well, I'm Raven Effects on Twitter and Blue Sky, and thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, all right, let's go over now to my friend Matt Bowden. Matt, are you there?
Oh,
Oh my
hello,
God,
Ryan.
another Ghostface. Oh my God, hello, Ryan. Oh my God, no one's ever said that to me before, as with a mask. Oh my God,
Hello, Ryan.
thank you. Wow.
All right, it's really hot in there, so
Matt, hello. It's nice to see
Oh,
you.
hello. Nice to see you as well. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm great. Oh my gosh. So please tell everybody about your extra little Ghostface account that you have on Instagram.
Oh, yes. Well, I have a little, fun little Ghostface cosplay account. I've kind of been ignoring it recently, but hopefully I'll get back onto it very quickly. Especially, I mean, what's a better time than now, right?
Exactly. Well, so Matt, what did you think of the Scream 7 trailer?
I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really loved it. I think it's really cool to see Nev back. Even the little second of Courtney was great. I don't feel like I saw too much aside from I feel like the little scene with them in the wall was felt a little bit like the bodega scene in the trailer of 6. But other than that, I think overall was just amazing. I loved it.
Do you have a favorite moment from the trailer?
There's so many moments. It's hard to pick one. Honestly, I think just probably just seeing Nev again and Courtney walking on, and that's really where it sits for me.
What did you think of Tatum?
I'm really excited to see. I mean, we don't really know too much about her yet. I'm excited to learn about her. I think she's going to be a great addition to the series. I'm interested to find out how Sydney raised Tatum. Like, if she raised her to be like, if she taught her self defense, if she like is a super helicopter mom, if how much of Sydney's history does Tatum know? Like, does she know everything that went on, or is she just kind of given the glazed over like, we're a trauma family? So I think that's going to be fun to kind of dive into.
So I have a question for you that I haven't asked anybody else yet. You do Ghostface cosplay. You're wearing a Ghostface full costume right now. What did you think of the mask and the costume and how it was portrayed in the trailer?
Well, as somebody who was never really a big like, I like the age one from 6 is okay, but it never hit the mark for me. So I'm kind of really relieved to be back to the classic white Ghostface. I mean, the mask looks good. I think that, I think it's going to play out really well. Yeah.
Did you like the setting of Scream 7 in terms of it's this new town. It's a very, very small town. It almost feels smaller than Woodsboro in
It
some respects.
does. Yeah, yeah. I think, and you know what? That's where the heart of Scream is, right? It's this whole mystery of a small town, and who it could be anyone in this town. It's probably somebody that you know, right? That's the core of Scream. Is it's far from big cities. It's this little town. It's everybody knows each other, and your friends are going to betray you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a great setting, and a good contrast between we're at New York City, so now it's bringing it back to the heart of the franchise, really.
Well,
And we're also not like repeating like we're going to see Stu's house, but we're not going to be like, oh my gosh, Woodsboro again. It's fresh, but it's also familiar.
Well, and I don't know if anybody has really appreciated in the trailer, like Sydney, it appears like she's running from like the town square to her house or something. Like there's a moment where we see Nev, like we see like the town square in the background, and she's running like, and there's nobody around. It's completely abandoned. That to me is exciting. The
Yeah.
possibilities. It gives me like Halloween 4 vibes
Oh
almost.
yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. And it's like that kind of adds to the scare factor, right? There's nobody there to help you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're so far, you're so close yet so far away, you know? And it makes you feel a little deserted.
How did you feel about Gale Weathers' 2 seconds of
Oh
screen
my
time?
god. I loved it. And you know what? I'm as much as I wanted to see more of her, I'm kind of glad we just got that little taste.
Yeah.
I was for a long time I was kind of envisioning that we would see her after how badly she was injured in 6.
Yeah.
For a long time, I thought, I wonder if they're going to give her like a cane or something, if they're going to give her a limp, like kind of like a Dewey kind of wink, like, this affected her. But seeing her step out and just be like, here I am, like, let's get this fucker. Let's unmask this fucker. It was really refreshing. I was like, okay, no, she's back. She's full force back.
I think something about Gale and their use of her here feels right and good because like with Scream 6, there was such a high expectation. And I wonder like partly is like people like me who kind of like again preach. I'm sure everyone is tired of hearing me preach about the same 5 points over and over again. But like one of my things is like, just being disappointed with Gale in Scream 6 overall as like a, overall character. There were such high expectations for her based off of the trailer footage of her phone call
Yeah.
and kind of like coming off of Scream 5 where she got to kill Amber and she lost Dewey, and it just felt like they were setting her up so well. And so when we saw her have such big moments in the trailer for 6, this time we just see a dash of her. And it kind
Yeah.
of keeps expectations in check. Like we know she's going to be there, we know she's going to be great, but we know nothing else. And I think that's an exciting place to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's probably the better bet than giving us, you don't want something like this. You don't want false promises. You don't want, misled direction as to where they're going to take it. Like, just give me the basics. I want to know she's there. I want to know she's coming to kick some ass.
Yeah.
And that's what I got.
Well, Matt, it was so nice to see you. Anything else you want to share about the trailer?
No, I think I'm super excited. I hope everybody's super excited. And it's going to be a fun couple months till we get there.
Yeah, of course. Matt, I'll have to have you back on sometime. It was really nice to see you.
Yeah, it was nice to see you as well.
Cool. And tell everybody where they can find you online.
Okay, so yes, my so you can find me on Instagram. My personal page is it's Matt Bowden. My Ghostface cosplay page is it's Matt's cosplay.
Nice, nice. Cool. Well, Matt, great to see you.
Great to see you too. Thank you.
All right, let's go over now to my friend. Let me restart that again. Let's go over now to my honey, Josh. Hey, Josh.
Hi, honey. There, that's better. How are
Hi,
you?
honey. I'm good. It's nice to see you, honey.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. It's nice to see you as always.
So I put out the polls for like, hey, what did everybody think of Scream 7? And I do creep to see who responded with what. I can see. I mean, I go over the top with it. Like, I dig through the results. So I hear you're mixed, Josh. Give everybody a little dose of humility here. Tell us what you thought of the trailer.
Okay, honey, can I just start that this is my opinion and I
Of
respect everyone
course. Yeah.
and their opinion and everything. I was kind of bored by it.
Oh, yeah.
I was. Oh God, I'm bringing everyone down. And I don't mean to, and I don't. Yeah, honey, I was really disappointed that we didn't get more Gale.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just say this. I'm cautiously optimistic for another trailer because this trailer didn't do it for me.
Okay. That's totally fine because I'm actually not surprised to hear that because I know how much you love Gail and how much she was withheld. So I totally get that. And Sydney was not dancing at the gay bar like we talked about so iconically in September. But no, I'm sad about Gail too, but we will get her. It will, I think that this was just done with a focus thing. I think Gail will get her moment soon.
I think Gale needs more than a moment. It needs to be, I guess, Sydney and then Gale and then her daughter. Like, I really wasn't interested in the mother-daughter thing. I was more interested in I felt like they showed too much. I've only seen it once and I'm like the least Scream person ever. I just want to say that. Like, I don't like Scream 6. I like Scream 5. Like, my opinions are a bit different, but like I wanted to see more people and I don't know, I could just tell who's gonna get killed.
Well, who do you think's gonna get killed?
It was the other, what, the three friends, there was the two blonde girls and then the darker haired girl. It looked
Yeah.
like she was gonna get killed.
Okay. Okay. Well, so I was
But
afraid.
on a positive note, honey, Mindy looked fabulous.
I was just gonna
Oh my
ask you.
God, honey, don't even go there. I loved her hair. Oh God. And when she slapped that motherfucker, I was just like, A to B, bitch. God, don't even go there. That made me so happy.
We finally get to see Mindy fight.
Yes. And she better survive. She
Yeah.
better survive.
See, I thought where you were going with this when you said that, I thought you were gonna say that you thought that Mindy was going to die, like that they were showing like or foreshadowing her death, and I don't think so. I don't know. I think they're showing her as a fighter.
She is a fighter. Hello, she is a fighter. She survived that dumpster fire of Scream 6. There, she survived, honey.
Well, I thought, and so on whenever I did like the for instant reaction with Jess, like and Anthony and Amar, they all that was the one of the big moments was like everyone was like, oh my God, Mindy. It's like we're like seeing a different person. It's so cool.
Yes, honey, and it's about time because she deserves that. And can I just give a shout out to Jess because she's like my spirit animal. I love her so much. Everything that she talks about, I could just listen to her for hours. I just want her to talk to me just for hours about stupid shit about anything.
Jess is also my spirit animal, and my favorite thing to do is like predict like where Jess will stand with something because I'm usually pretty accurate when it comes to Jess's points of view. But no, Mindy looks great. Josh, I'm gonna make a prediction about you. I
Okay.
think that your favorite part of Scream 7 is going to be the dynamic between Gale and Mindy. I think they are going to be so fucking funny together. It's just going to be like the perfect blend of like the badass, confident woman who's also, sassy and funny. I don't know. I think that they're gonna butt heads, but also complement each other, and just they're gonna have great chemistry together.
Yes, 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 honey. You know me so well. That is it. That is exactly what I'm waiting for. Listen, I don't want to shit all over Sydney, and I think it's great. And can I tell you something else? What I like, I haven't heard your Scream 7 episode yet, but because I listen to it in my walk on Saturdays. But honey, I like how they made Sydney look so natural.
Yeah.
Like she didn't seem to have a lot of makeup. She looked like she was like a 50-year-old mother. Gale looked pulled back like her asshole's on top of her head, like the plastic surgery bitch. That made me so happy, honey. I just loved all of that shit. I
Now,
love
the
the realism of Sydney. I'll give that to her. And I don't hate Sydney and I don't hate her daughter. I'm sure she's fine. But honey, can I ask you a question? Am I allowed to ask a spoiler question?
yeah.
The one girl, she's blonde, and apparently she's wearing the sweater that Cece wore, and she might be related to Cece. It's not that girl. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's the only thing I know.
I'm
Or
trying to remember what the sweater looked like.
pink one, honey. Cece. Yeah, the one that Cece wore in Scream 2. I love you, Jess.
I have another prediction. I think that whenever Scream 7 comes out, Josh is gonna come on. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, I mean, honey, it was fine. Sydney and her daughter, they were fine. They were better than I was thinking, honey. But like, honey, the best part, this movie should have been about Mindy and Gale. I mean, honey, of course they were the MVPs. Like, why wasn't this about Mindy and Gale? This should have been a buddy movie, just them on the road. That's what you're gonna say."
Can I say something else? Why did we see so much of Sydney and her daughter? Didn't we want to see her husband? Didn't you want to see? I mean, I get it. You don't want to see Dewey and all those other people. Like, I get it. But, like, I don't know. Don't you want to see more than just her and her daughter?
Well, so I'll tell you why I think they did it. On top of like I mentioned the thing about trying to sell the storyline, but also I think that they are because like there are people out there who are trying to spoil the movie as a form of like political activism on Twitter. I think they're trying to downplay the potential suspects. Like so if they put shots of like Anna Camp or Ethan Embry or Joel McHale or whomever else, any of the other new characters, if they put them all in the trailer, I think that there would be more opportunity for discussion to be like, oh well, here is the killer in Scream 7. It's this person. Oh my god.
I mean, those people can all go fuck themselves. It's just a goddamn movie. Like, we just want to go have fun. Like,
I agree.
people are so. Honey, listen, I've never met a group of people like the Scream haters that all these people are just rude and assholes.
I
They
agree.
are, honey. Like, it's a goddamn movie. Just go out and enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Like, have some fun. Honey, these people take themselves way too seriously, and you all need to get a fucking life. Period.
Yeah. You know, Josh, I have a challenge for you. I know you've only seen it once, okay? But I think that you should rewatch Scream 4 if you ever get the opportunity because you kind of remind me of Alison Brie's character. Like if I was casting the Patreon as Scream characters, I would cast you as Rebecca Walters. You have her vibe and her energy.
I mean, can I tell you something? And I know we're rambling about not Scream 7, but honey, I never understood Scream 4. It's the one that I didn't really understand. Like, I know everyone likes, what's her name? Jill Roberts or whatever her name is, honey. And she throws herself against the wall a few times. Like, honey, what's that about? It looks like she's like seriously has a mental disease. Like, that was a little bit above me, honey. I didn't really understand that. And honey,
Well,
can I tell you something else? The girl
yeah.
who played the mom, oh,
Uh-huh.
honey, I love her. She's a great actress. She was used for 2 seconds and then they killed her. Like, what
Yeah.
was that about? Honey, I also
Well,
heard the girl from Gilmore Girls was supposed to be her.
she was, and I love Lauren Graham. I wish that she would have been in Scream 4. But I wish that Kate Roberts, the mom's name, her name is Kate, Maureen Prescott's sister, and like we barely got to see her.
That was her sister, honey?
Yeah, that was supposed to
Oh,
be
honey,
Maureen's
you
sister.
just freaked my freak out in a way, honey. Alice, you met her. Oh, honey, you got to message me. Honey,
Well,
anyways, I'm sorry, honey. We're going on a tangent.
we'll go over to Ali next. But Josh, anything else you want to share, and where can they find you?
Yeah, honey, I just want to say, listen, I love all these people on here, even though I don't know them at all. And I'm so listen, I'm not the biggest Scream person, but I'm so happy for all of you. It makes me so happy and giddy that all of you guys are happy and you guys are getting what you need, even though Scream does come out on my birthday.
I know, isn't that ironic? You're like,
Sorry, honey,
I
but
know.
it does.
You know, of all the people in the world, you get to say that Scream 7 comes out on your birthday.
Well, it's not ironic. That's just ironic, honey.
It's so great. And for that, I hope that Mindy and Gale give you like a funny birthday gift with their chemistry in the movie.
Oh, honey, if they have one scene together, that's it. That's it. I'll be 45 for I won't lie about my age for the whole fucking year. Honey, it's always nice to see you, honey. I love you so much.
Too, you look great tonight.
Honey, so do you. Your skin looks great. I always tell you have a good skincare routine. And keep it up, honey. You don't want to look like a leather handbag when you get to be my age.
Thank you for the advice.
I love you
So,
very much, honey.
love you too. Thank you for
Bye,
the.
honey.
All right, bye. Josh is like the every time, like with the group Zoom, he's always just like the pick me up as we're heading into the finale here. Allie Wallace, how's
Josh,
it going?
honey, Josh, honey, I will message you. We have so much to talk about.
What are the chances? And I was just like, what are the chances I put you and Josh next to each other in the lineup? And he's like, Mary McDonald, she wasn't used long enough.
Oh, honey, I agree.
Oh my
Anyone
gosh.
who knows me knows I'm a Battlestar fan, and I jumped at the opportunity when I got to meet her to talk about Scream. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Al, how
circling
are
back.
you?
I'm good. Ryan, how dare you have the audacity to be on vacation and not immediately accessible when this trailer dropped? I was very upset that I could not. I was sending you voice messages and I was like, I know this bitch is not going to be able to listen to this and respond right now.
Because like whenever I'm on airplane mode, like on the ship, like because like on the Thursday when it happened, like when the trailer came out, we weren't like visiting an island, so like I had my phone on airplane mode because you're in the middle of the ocean, you know.
Right.
And
I
so
can relate.
messages, right? Exactly, because you were, it's. I actually thought about that. I was like, Allie was on a cruise ship for an episode that we.
I joined in on a Zoom call from a cruise ship.
So you still, I'll say, that is a step above me having to watch the Scream 7 trailer on very low quality on my phone. So Allie wins. Allie greater RCS. So
Amazing.
well, Al, oh my God, tell me everything. What did you think?
I loved it. I want to circle back to, I don't remember who said it. I think it was Hoodie when he was talking about, like, you guys were talking about the differences between the trailers for 5 and 6 and 7.
Yes.
I did feel that 5 gave away too much with the house specifically, if only because, like, the way that they very purposefully kind of hide it in the movie,
Yeah.
in the party scenes. It's very purposely like close shots and corners and stuff, and you don't know until you get that pullback on Sam. So that to me, like, that would have been so much more better if it had been a surprise, right? 6, the trailer really also, like, that really kind of scared me a little bit. Like, it did feel darker. It did feel a little bit more high stakes. Like, that one that was the first time that I had genuinely kind of been like, I'm a little bit scared to go see this movie. 7, this one, like, hyped me up a lot. Like,
Good.
I was genuinely, like, glued to my screen. I caught Dewey's voice right away, and then obviously Stu's was, unmistakable to me anyways. Like, I like that we didn't get to see either of them. We didn't get to see anybody, either of them or Scott Foley as Roman. So I like that we don't yet know the capacity of what's happening with that. Also, can I just say that phone screen said call from Woodsboro, California. Why the fuck did she answer the phone? If you see Woodsboro, California, why are you picking up? Why are you interject? I mean, I get it at this point. She's probably kind of like unfazed and, like, is just not ready to, was just like, fine, whatever, let's fucking do this.
I thought the same thing. I was like, if I were Sydney, but I answered that from Woodsboro. I mean,
right.
She was probably curious. And I think the reason why she would is that Sydney is always on high alert because, if there's a call coming from Woodsboro, that means there's a potential that her family could be in danger. So why not confront it as opposed to ignore it? I get your point. So
I do think that the trailer must be very creatively edited because if you look back at the trailer for 6, we thought that they were all on the subway together.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they cut that very specifically where I up until the movie when she missed the train and I was like, wait, this isn't what we saw. So anything could happen. And like I don't necessarily think that Mark II, I'm not calling him Mark II, is what people have affectionately been referring to him as online. I don't necessarily think that he's gonna bite it that because of, like you said, anything's possible. He could get out of that. Someone could interrupt Ghostface. He could, who said it? Ashley at the beginning, like tear a hole in the mouth, like anything, that could be nothing, it could be a blip. So I don't necessarily, I kind of don't, I'm not surprised, but I kind of don't dig that he's a cop or guard or something. But I don't like that given that this is a different Mark when we were very very specifically told and led to believe by radio silence that she did marry Kincaid.
I feel like if there's going to be an ongoing storyline for any episode featuring Ryan Showers and Allie over the next 5 years, is going to be like this acceptance of Joel McHale as Mark 2.0, but the bitter history of Mark Kincaid being torn away from us.
I don't know that I necessarily accept it yet. Let's not you that may be you, but that may not be me. I want to see how it plays out. I want to see how that like how we get to see them together. I'm very interested in that. I'm very cautious. I like that we didn't see everybody. We didn't see the entire cast. We only got blips of the friends. We didn't see any of the boyfriends or the male friends. That we didn't see the rival co-host or rival TV person, Mark. What's his name? Mark Consuelos.
Mark Consuelos, yeah.
We didn't see him. We didn't see Ethan. We didn't see Anna. I like that they didn't give us too much. I think that the house, thank God, they built a better set this time. And I did confirm with Macher Ghost on Instagram. He did say it is a set, which I guess like when you think about her hanging dangling from the chandelier, kind of makes sense because why would they do that? But I mean, they could have still done some. I think the set looks much better.
So I will tease, from what I understand, they built that in outside somewhere in Atlanta, like in like a field in Atlanta. So I think that's very cool that they did that.
Okay, so it's not just like in a studio.
It may be. I
think maybe like interiors or something too. I like the house and I like the idea of the meta of making it an Airbnb or making it a tourist attraction. I love the tape outlines and like the fake blood or whatever, like when he's laying on the ground or whatever. And it's, I guess someone did the like overlay on TikTok of it's Amber and Richie's bodies. So I do love that. I was talking to one of my friends about it and we kind of both came to the same conclusion. And I'm like talking through it and stuff, I don't quite know if it would necessarily make sense in this capacity for them to put it in the trailer. But what if that attack is, I think you kind of touched on it, like what if that was like an epilogue and that's your cliffhanger is the house. But if that's the case, I don't know how I necessarily feel about showing the house in flames. I think I would have rather in the trailer had it only been him lighting the match or the lighter or whatever and saying I'm going to burn it down and kind of just alluding to that and leaving the house on fire. I feel like that's kind of symbolic.
1000%. I mean, like there's so many ways to look at that symbolically, about like metaphorically, like, we're done with Woodsboro. Pine Grove is the new Woodsboro. Sydney, I'm coming for you. I'm burning down the original. You're the original. I'm coming for you, bitch. Like there's so many different ways to look at it from like a metaphorical standpoint, or it could be what Alex said earlier, which is like an allusion to the finale. Like this is it. We're wrapping shit up, but it's not gonna be that. We're getting Scream 8 and 9, bitch.
Right, and I fully support that. This also seeing the house in this context as the Airbnb also makes sense for I don't know if everyone saw. There was a picture that someone had leaked from the set of a picture of Stu Macher on a wall or whatever. And it makes a lot more sense in context now that we know that the house is an Airbnb. So it makes more sense as the tribute because you have the stab posters everywhere and then there's Gale's book. And so it kind of makes sense that the picture is in that house rather than someone else's house.
Totally.
Granted, it could also be that also, or, either or, but it kind of pulls that, like ties that together.
Well, and like, can I just propose this too, in terms of like cliffhanger, like what you're talking about, just because we're taking a lot of assumptions here. So if we assume that the opening is that what we saw with the Stu Macher house. And then the rest of the movie, so that's in California, and then the rest of the movie takes place in Indiana. Do we know how far away California is from Indiana? That is a shit ton of miles. And that is a plane ride. That is many hours in the car. What if the opening has nothing to do with Pine Grove? What if the people or person who is in the Ghostface costume with Sydney in the finale of Scream 7 did not commit the arson that we see at the Macher house, and that is what's going to be the story thread through 8 and 9.
I think that's definitely possible, especially like knowing that they have a plan.
We don't know that. Hopefully they do.
Well, I mean,
Hopefully.
because it's rumored or whatever that 8 is already like in pre-production, so to say, that or the in development.
Right.
I think it's safe that Kevin would have a plan.
Yeah.
I think that there could be things that are happening that are 100% unrelated.
So Alex just put in the chat, Ghostface dies tonight. Like there's so many things we could go with that. But like I was actually going to ask you, Allie, Halloween Kills. One of my favorite sequences in Halloween Kills is the fireman sequence. And some people think it's stupid, but I love it. I think the photography is so cool with like the fire and Michael just taking all those people down. And obviously Scream 7 with Ghostface walking out of the Myers house. It's almost the same shot as Michael walking out of Laurie Strode's burning house in that movie. What do you think of that comparison?
I guess it does kind of they do really closely resemble each other. Keep in mind I've only seen that trilogy once
Yeah.
each. I know what you're talking about. I didn't really put two and two together on that until you mentioned it, just because I'm not as super familiar with those. TikTok is I think I'm gonna have to start blocking like the hashtags and stuff on TikTok because like I literally the people that are mad and you guys kind of touched on it already or like posting trying to say, oh, so and so's the killer. There was literally someone who like I've followed his other videos for like he's more political stuff, but he was just
Yeah.
like literally like the Scream 7 trailer came out today. You know what? Fuck this. Fuck all of them for what they did to Melissa. This happens, this happens, this happens. I was like, you have no way of knowing that, first of all. And it's like people are being really like spiteful
Yeah.
about it because of what happened to Melissa. And I think I just for the sake of because I have seen some really great videos, but and things that like you maybe just didn't pick up on or whatever, like pointing out symbol. I obviously had noticed Michaela Grace's skirt because duh. But I do think it's a red herring. But I hadn't picked up on the sweater. And I did see online the post about her Isabel being in the jacket, which I think would be really sweet. But yeah, I think not necessarily that I want to avoid spoilers, which I kind of do. I don't know if I'll watch any other trailers um, unless you give me the seal of approval. But
Well,
I think just for the sake of like the toxicity of people, like I might have to like hide those things. I'm not on Twitter enough to like have to worry about it over there.
Instagram is a great place. That's where, Instagram is the best. I will
I
say
agree.
in regards to TikTok and reels and whatever else, anytime I see negative videos like that, I don't care who it is. Block. Like, you know what? If you're being a dick about Scream 7, I don't care to see your content or be friends with you. Like this, for me, this is like a make or break moment. And like, I don't like the spite. I don't like the spitefulness. So it's disappointing,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. But Al,
Yeah.
what did you think of Sydney and Gale and Tatum in the trailer?
I'm super pumped for Gale. Um I'm excited to see, where they're at again. I don't know anything about Isabel May. So I don't know what her performances have been like in the past.
Yeah.
I do really like the dynamic of her and Sydney so far from what we've seen. I think she is going to be a really strong character, and I think they're going to have a really great relationship. I think that Sydney, from the get go, as soon as she was old enough to understand and handle it, I do think that she was honest with her, like, hey, this is an important part of my life, and one day it could be part of yours. So I do think that she was prepared for that. I mean, Sydney has a fucking panic room and like sorry, an escape plan to fucking slither through the walls of her house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that she will have been fully transparent with her daughter on that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's your prediction. I don't really know where I stand with that. Like there's a lot of layers there that I'll be interested to see how the film plays it out.
I think based on what we've seen as far as her Isabel or Tatum having said, I want to be a fighter like you,
Yeah.
and her having the trust that they have when I'm assuming she's in the bakery or cafe or coffee shop or whatever, and Sydney has to talk her through it on the phone. Like, I can't get there. I'm going to guide you. Here's what you have to do. I
Yeah.
think they have a great level of trust.
Yeah.
So I do think that not necessarily that she's like trained her in martial arts, but I mean maybe self-defense to some effect. Also just because that's something that Sydney would do, I think, as the mother of a daughter in the kind of current times that we're in, is that she would not necessarily, I mean, I guess given the current like atmosphere for a female plus what Sydney has been through in the past, I think she would for sure at least have taught her something in the way of self-defense.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, Al, thank you so much for coming tonight. Please tell everybody where they can find you online.
Can I just add one quiet tiny little thing? My favorite thing from the trailer is the, like, very, like, ghostly whispers, like, "Hello." The super like, when this and we don't know the context of it, but, like, when Tatum's laying on the bed and she, like, turns and looks out, like, towards the window, I mean, I'm sure that's probably not what it was, but it's, like, that ghostly Ghostface voice
Mhm.
that's just the whisper, almost like an echo of the past. I'm here for that. That's, like, on the level of 6 with my favorite from the trailer for 6 was his face through the frosted glass
Yeah.
on the doctor's door. That, like, that's that level of just it's the tiniest little thing, and, like, that hooked me. So, anyways, you can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky, Allie_cat_BSG, and it's hyphens on Blue Sky.
Thank you. All right, Blake, are you
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
the man, the myth, the legend? How's my favorite Beyonce fan?
I'm doing really good. I'm all cuddled up in bed right now with my cat, and I've just been like watching some like non-spoilery Scream 7 videos. And yeah, I am excited to talk the trailer.
All right, well, hit me with it.
Well, so I have many thoughts, but the one that's forefront of my mind is the sequence where they're in the wall.
Yeah.
I think that is going to go down as one of the best sequences in the franchise. Or I could see it easily, being up there with like the car chase scene, stuff like that. I want to know, how did they get from a panic room into the wall?
I think that is part of, like, Sydney's setup, in my opinion, is, like, I think
Mhm.
she, like there's the panic room, and then, like, the way that she escapes from the panic room to get out of the house is through these secret passageways in the walls, which I think is really smart and a cool take on a panic room, kind of.
Incredibly. I mean, one of my favorite shots in the whole trailer is her hitting Ghostface in the face with the bat and then locking them in the panic room.
And just think, we didn't really get to see much of the layout and the setup of that. Like, it's kind of, I guess, in her bathroom, in her closet. I don't know, but I'm glad that you mentioned that shot because the shot is so fast. So I can't wait to see that.
It's gonna be I mean, it's probably gonna be one of my favorite parts of the movie. But yeah, I like that the trailer, I was just thinking this, it doesn't delve too much into plot. It just gives you a basic premise of what
Yep.
the movie's gonna be about. I feel like the decision to only show Gale once was intentional.
Yeah.
I feel like other scenes involving her would probably be too spoilery for a trailer.
Right.
That's just my hunch. But yeah, the trailer did leave me wanting a little bit more. I definitely did want to see more of some of the minor characters, at least Chad and Mindy, but I understand why, after hearing from some of you guys, why they probably didn't show many more minor characters, just because of the conversation around the film and, people trying to spoil it and whatnot. But yeah, I was left wanting a little more, but I was really, really impressed by what we got. But if anything, it just made me even more excited for the next trailer,
Yeah.
especially after hearing that Kevin is a co-writer on this film. It just makes me think like this film is really it's going to be up there with Scream 1 and 2 for me. I couldn't be looking more forward to it. I'm so excited. All of my friends have watched the trailer now. I've forced it upon all of them, and all of them have been like really surprised by how good it looks.
I have to say, um, I'm glad that you brought up Kevin, and I like the way that you phrase this, that you're impressed by what we've got. So when you say that, are you talking about like Kevin's filmmaking? Are you talking about like him as a director? Are you just talking about all the ingredients kind of playing out all together?
Well, I can't speak with confidence about Kevin's directing because I've seen his directorial debut, and it was just an okay film. It wasn't anything to write home about, but I feel like most of his writing when he's behind or when he's putting pen to paper, it's excellent. So I'm very excited for that. I think that he's learned enough from Wes Craven and from these other filmmakers that he knows how to make a Scream film. I'm not very worried about that. If he were taking on a different IP, I might like raise an eyebrow, but not really with Scream.
Like if he was directing the Black Phone 3, I'd be like, let's take it easy, Kevin. But this is like
Right.
he made this world. So I just, it's so cool. And I just did an episode on the audio commentary. The audio commentaries that Wes Craven did. I recorded it. It's going to be coming out sometime this month. And specifically, this is like one of those serendipitous moments. Like, you couldn't have asked for this like 30 years ago, but when it was the commentaries between Wes and Kevin for Scream 1, and Kevin specifically says he's learned so much from watching Wes interact with Drew Barrymore in terms of behind the scenes, like training her to get her ready for the big phone call, emotional moments, which is so cool now to think that he's the one in the director's chair, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I like I said, I can't speak with confidence as to his directing abilities, but I do think that he is going to bring something interesting to the franchise. I think that he will have his own stamp on it, like directing wise. I think we'll be able to say this is a Kevin Williamson film
Yeah.
when it's all said and done, and I think that it will be. I think we're all going to be pleasantly surprised. And one other thing I want to say about this trailer is that I really liked how much they focused on Ghostface.
Yeah.
Like that was perfect. Not that the other trailers didn't do that, but I just thought the way Ghostface was executed in this trailer was perfect. And we got to see him stalking, trying to get into panic rooms, or not panic rooms, but the office at, I think, Sydney's coffee shop or whatever. We saw him in a bunch of different scenarios that they managed to not even be spoilery.
Yeah.
So I thought that was excellent. Other than, the shot of or maybe the misdirect of Mark getting stabbed or whatnot. Other than that, like I was really pleased with how the trailer turned out, even if I wanted just a little bit more Gale.
Right. Right. I mean, we could always use more Gale. And I think that, like, the thing about like everything that's happened with Scream over the past couple of years, I think that it was a really good way to cleanse the palette in a way to just give us Sydney. And before we start building on everybody else, even Gale, I think that the filmmakers and the marketing team know that Gale's important. That's why we get the big moment of her. That's why she gets the dialogue
Mhm.
that nobody else gets other than Sydney and Tatum. She gets the big, kapow in the middle. But it's still we're starting at ground zero with Sydney and the daughter, and everybody else gets to build on that after we get deeper into this process. So I like it, So, but
Yeah, yeah, and it also seems like Tatum's gonna be a fully realized character. Because as the synopsis tells us, the official synopsis, Tatum is really the center of these attacks. And so I'm excited that I feel like this is gonna be a legacy sequel that is properly done in meshing both old and new characters. I think everybody's gonna have room to breathe, or at least the most important people are.
well, it actually reminds me of like I know this is a weird example, but almost like Top Gun. Because like
Mhm.
that is technically a legacy sequel in a way. And I feel like that this is going to be second to Top Gun, or at least more in the Top Gun mold than it will be in other legacy sequel molds, if that makes sense. So
No, it does because Top Gun Maverick was really highly regarded by
yeah.
critics and audiences, and I can definitely see the same thing happen with Scream 7 because even though, Scream 6 has been divisive among fans, the audience score and the critic score I think was pretty decent. So I expect that we'll see that again or even better.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Blake, anything else you want to say about the trailer?
No, I think I got all my thoughts off my chest, but I do want to say that your skin does look glowy this evening.
Thank you.
I want to jump on the back of that compliment that I think Josh gave you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I take really good care of my skin. It just so happens right now I'm tan because so that's why I'm extra like, there's a little bit of an extra glow, I guess, is the suntan. I look good with a tan. Like it's funny. Like whenever I don't have a tan, I just feel like blah. But then whenever I get a tan, it's like, ooh, I'm a different person. I'm new. I'm fresh. But not in like some people tan and it's like too much. But for me, it's just like it's like an enhancer. It's like what Taylor Swift said about Travis Kelsey on like your iPhone, you hit the enhance button and it just comes up. That's like me with a suntan. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So all right, well, Blake, thank you so much for coming. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
So I'm mainly I'm trying to stay off Twitter these days, but on Instagram you can find me at it's my last name Beatty, but with 4 E's, so it's Beeeey.
Well, and like I love your participation in the group chats. Like whenever you stumble into the Instagram chat, it always kind of like makes me smile. So thank
Well,
you
thank
for
you.
and you're one of like you're an OG Patreon too. You've basically been here with me basically from Scream 5. So that's so
Oh
cool to think
yeah.
about. Yeah.
Since the very first episode, I remember we would talk before. I think we would talk a little bit. It was right as your podcast was getting started, before there was even a Patreon, and that's how we established a relationship.
Crazy to think about. It's just so fun. I mean, I love everybody who's a part of the Patreon so much. It's just so interesting to think back because sometimes like time moves so fast. It's just like to think it's just crazy to sit back and think, oh wow, we've known each other since 2021. No, that feels like a lifetime ago, and it's just like where does the time go? So
Well, we've all had to live through so much in these past 4 years, globally. So I mean, it's kind of crazy how much fast time has gone
yeah.
when you're in the thick of it.
All right. Well, Blake, thank you so much for coming and for providing everyone with some great thoughts.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And this is like a really long Zoom. This is, I think, one of the longest Zooms I've ever done, but 'tis the damn season. As Taylor Swift once sang, there's no better reason to have a long Zoom other than to talk about the Scream 7 trailer. So, Brett, I appreciate you being patient, listening to everybody else, and we're finally here at the grand finale. So, Brett, please hit me with your thoughts on the Scream 7 trailer.
Oh, hi, Ryan. And I absolutely freaking, I was asleep and then I woke and I already knew, like, I stayed up until like 7 a.m. in the morning. And then I woke up around 10 and my friend texted me and was like, the trailer's out, and I instantly watched and I fucking fell in love with it. I was shocked throughout the entire thing. And then I went downstairs and I showed my mom.
Aw, did she like it?
Hell yeah. She jumped at least twice or 3 times. I've never seen my mom jump at any of the Scream trailers except this one.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. So, Brett, tell me your favorite moment of the trailer or your favorite parts of the trailer.
My favorite moment of the trailer is definitely behind the wall.
Yeah.
When she's like down when she's telling Tatum down at the end. And I'm just like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? And Ghostface is knocking with the knife against the wall. I'm like, oh crap, he knows. He knows. And then stabs the crap out of the damn wall. I'm like, oh God, this Ghostface is not fucking around. He is not messing around. Not this time. Not with her.
Well, it's and we in the chat as people were going with their turns, it was mentioned about him being in the attic and kind of climbing down. But not something we've really seen before in a Scream movie of like seeing Ghostface actually like coming out from hiding or seeing where he was hiding and coming down. It reminds me of Halloween H2O when Michael Myers is like in the ceiling and then he comes down and when Laurie has the axe. So I don't know.
So creepy. And with this one, just hearing Dewey say, all your friends died for just being near you. I'm like, they are really they're really gonna fuck with Sydney with this whole thing. They're really mentally messing with her.
Yeah.
But the one of the lines that did get me was, I'm not hiding this time, and this is gonna be fun. But it's still making me think that Stu, this is my theory, that he is still alive.
Oh, okay.
Because the way that this killer is acting doesn't seem like it's gonna be someone like it's gonna seem. It seems like one of the killers isn't just because the way he's like. It reminds me of where we grew up and all that, and we see Stu Marker's house. This is a Stu Marker-esque type film.
Yeah.
It has to do with him, and
Mhm.
I still strongly think Stu Marker plays a bigger part than we know in this whole movie, and that he could
I
still potentially be alive.
So, were you disappointed that we didn't get to see Stu?
Hell no. I'm actually glad that they did some because I'm just like, I want to save that. I'm save that for when we go to the movie. It's like save that. Like we don't. I don't want to see. I don't want to see them just yet. I want to see them when we go to the movie. Like they don't have to show them, but we can hear their voices. But I would rather keep it just that way. That we don't. That way they don't give away so much and stuff like that. But because it would be like little fun moments when you go
Well,
in and can get surprised in the movie when you go see the movie.
and like if we saw him, we wouldn't be able to sit here and predict, right, that he is alive or not
Exactly.
alive. So I hope, that is one thing that I really feel strongly about. I really don't want to see Stu or Dewey or Roman
Same.
until the movie. I think that like putting them in the trailer would be silly, but they're gonna do it.
It
They're not.
would.
They're gonna do Matthew Lillard. The studio isn't going to be able to contain themselves because Matthew Lillard is such a larger than life guy.
My mouth a little bit. He's also a little because well, not blabbermouth, but he was really excited for this whole movie in general. Just super excited to finally be back into it again.
Yeah. Which is awesome. I love that for him. I'm happy for him. He imagine this too. Imagine being Matthew Lillard and
Mhm.
knowing that this crowd exists online of people who want to see you alive in this franchise and seeing your fucking co-star and Skeet Ulrich getting to return
Oh my god, yes.
not once but twice, and you having to sit there, with a smile, and
And
now you get your turn. So I'm happy for.
also looking forward to Tatum, and from also gathering is that Tatum, I strongly think she already knows everything that her mother went through. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get some probably like little drama moments, but not a whole lot of drama moments between them. Because there's nothing like everything is already out. Everything that Sydney went through is already out there. There's movies, there's books. She knows she's friends. She knows Gale. They pretty much already probably already talked about all this stuff already. So it's like why hide even more from her when all this stuff is already out there? Because no matter what, all that stuff gets spread around even because from Woodsboro and everything gets spread around. So kind of like how Sydney already knew that Sam was Billy's father. She already knew that because Sam's mother was a gossip. She already told everybody. But with this one, I just really think that this is where we're gonna see Tatum be more like her mother
Mhm.
and really wants to like be a fighter just like her.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's the name of the game, right? That's what we want. We want to
Mhm.
see Tatum do that and achieve that. So I love that, and I hope that that comes true, and I hope that she feels the same way that and this is like giving impossible standards to Isabel May. So I don't want to even say this, but like the way that we feel about Sydney and Gale and Dewey, and even people like Jennifer
Mhm.
and Jill and Kirby and Roman and Billy, I want Tatum to be one of those characters, and I want it to be objective. I want it to be unquestionable that she is one of the best characters in the franchise. There's no, debate. There's no controversy. I want her to
Exactly.
just be universally beloved, and everyone just gets on board because Isabel May is just fucking great.
And I will say this to people who did bring up Mindy, she does indeed look fabulous.
Wow. Well, Brett, is there anything you want to share about Sydney in particular?
Final girl, boss ass bitch. That's all that's what I'm saying. She is a badass more than ever in this one, and she is not fucking around this time. Not even close. She's so over all this shit already, and now her daughter's in the mix. Oh god, she is full on mother bear this time. Full mother bear.
Well, anything you want to share about Gale Weathers?
When she popped out, it's like, let's unmask this fucker. I was like, that's the Gale Weathers I fucking knew since day freaking one. That's the Gale Weathers I know and love. And also seeing McKenna Grace in this, of just who loves Scream and actually met Ned Campbell. This is a big movie. This is a big deal, even for her.
Yeah.
Because I think she always wanted to be part of this, and now she finally is. And I still also agree with Blake that or whoever said that she's possibly related to CC Cooper. That could be true. We don't know, but she does, and she did look similar to her in a way.
Yeah. No, I think that I find that to be interesting, and that was Josh who said that. So I thought that was really cool. So we'll see.
Agreed.
So Blake, any final thoughts here to kind of end this really epic night and epic week for fans?
The Scream 2 trailer will not be for long because there's already posts about some people speculating that we could get it sooner than we think.
Okay. Nice. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for more Scream, guys. This was just such a fun way to celebrate the week. So thank you so much for everybody who has helped contribute to this show and to this community. And Brett, you of course are one of the most cherished people in the community. You're such a team player. So thank you so much for all that you do. Please tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Facebook at Brett Allen Janowich. You can find me on Instagram as Angel Allen Janowich. Angel Allen J, and Twitter Scream4Fan14, and Blue Sky, same name as Twitter.
Awesome. Everybody, what a night. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.
All copyrighted material used or referenced in this show belong to their rightful owners and made possible by the Fair Use Act.
And number 3, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back!